Tell them this is what we tell them. Go to work, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work, yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work, yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in. They say, defense wins championships. We're here in Dallas. We got a top 10. When the hot boys hit the field, this is what we tell them. Listen what we tell them. This is what we tell them. Go to work, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work, yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work, yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in, gone clock in, gone clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. See my defense, they on the field right now. Yeah, my defense, they yelling 3 and now. Yeah, my defense, they don't like your quarterback. So my defense, all trying to get them sacks. With the ball in the air, secondary go to work. Byron Jones, he be there, he be lying, he be lurking. If you get past him, Jeff Heath gon' hurt him. Put the ball down, go ahead and run it. I got a hot front four when they coming. Plus we got the best linebacker duo in the whole NFL. We the hot boys sizzling on fire, come to give your team hell. Clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work, yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work, yeah, it's time to go to work. Go defense, go defense, gone defense, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. I know I said at the beginning of this track, man, that we had like a top 10 or like a top 5. Hot boys gearing up to be triple D, you know what I'm saying? Clock Dallas Doomsday. Time to go to work. Listen what the hot boys tell them. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Smell fresh meat. Yeah, we all eating. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Smell fresh meat. Yeah, we all eating. Put me in, coach. Yeah, we all hard hitters. Yeah, I smell fresh meat. Yeah, we all eating. Clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in, gone clock in, gone clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. See the star on the field, you gon' meet D-Law. Thinking you an outlaw, we sending the predator. Jalen Smith scoop up the whole field, so how you gon' play here, bruh? If you release your dogs, we got a wolf hunter. LVE, tackling Dutchman coming. If you hungry and trying to eat like Zeke, we'll send in a taco to sweep you off your feet. Now you deep in the woods, plus we got a couple Collins. They say time and pressure make diamonds, the hot boys shining. Clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work, yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work, yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in, gone clock in, gone clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. Top 10. When the hot boys hit the field, this is what we tell them. Listen what we tell them. This is what we tell them. Go to work, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work, yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work, yeah, it's time to go to work. Gone clock in. They say, defense wins championships. We're here in Dallas. We got a top 10. When the hot boys hit the field, this is what we tell them. Listen what we tell them. This is what we tell them. Go to work, clock in. it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. See, clock in, G. Yeah, it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Yeah, it's time to go to work. Down, clock in, clock in, clock in, down, clock in.
Thank you for watching West Coast. This is Antoine Woods.
Thanks for watching West Coast. Go Cowboys.
This is Ray Williams. Thank you so much for hanging out with us with Dallas Cowboy Scout.
Appreciate
My
you.
man West Coast in this buck.
Thank you for watching West Coast.
Shout out West Coast Cowboys. You know it's always love over here. Raider, Cowboy, always a Cowboy.
Did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
It's stuck in my head. What's up with you guys? It is your boy West Coast. We live on Facebook and we are live on IG. What's up, IG? IG, baby. Deshaun, a.k.a. Westbrook. What up with you? Shout out my boy West Coast. What up with you, Gonzalez? What up with you, Adam Wiley? What's up with you, Low-Key the King, LC, Dude, Shorty? Hey, y'all got some crazy names on Instagram, man. If y'all want me to say them names correctly, you're going to have to DM me and let me know the actual pronunciation of my nickname. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm talking about? Because if not, I'm going to just say it how I phonetically say it. So the laid back kid, I got yours. That was good. How you doing, Miss Robin Little? How you doing? How you doing? They like, dang, West Coast, you sure is in a good mood. Oh, fake Cowboy. They calling me all type of, you old fake Cowboy fan. How you happy right now? We just lost to the Jets, West Coast. Oh, fake. See, that's why I don't even listen to West Coast. That's why I don't even listen. We up here smiling. We supposed to be mad and pissed off. Well, would you rather be pissed off or pissed on? You tell me, man. Hey, man, I'm about to have Boss Cowboy on this IG as soon as I see this. Did you send it to me, big dog? If you ain't seen it, I know somebody else did.
In there, boy.
In there, huh? Elroy. What up with your Elroy? Hey, you know Elroy somebody uncle. If your name is Elroy, you for sure somebody uncle. I got my fantasy football. What's up with you? I got my boy Dallas Cowboy fantasy football. What up with you, man? He says he's pissed off about something.
Julie, what you doing on Instagram?
I know, right? Hey, Julie, how you doing? So, hey, man, let me shout out some people.
Social.
Hey, your Instagram is like, I think you may want to restart your phone because it's just twirling and twirling. I'm going to disconnect you and come back.
Okay, cool.
All right, man. All right, here we go. So, Boss Cowboy is going, I so wish he would change his name. I just feel like somebody's going to Google him and then somebody's going to show up to his house with a bucket of barrettes and be like, would you marry me? I'm just saying. But, yo, man, it is your boy West Coast, man. We about to jump into this. We trying to get the IG up. You guys already know, man, we try to connect as many platforms as possible. You know what I'm saying? So we're trying to get this IG up. But while we doing this, man, just go ahead and get your vent and frustration out now. I know you want to fire Jason Garrett. You want to kick Dak's dog. That's wrong what y'all want to do to Dak's dog. His dog ain't had nothing to do with this. I know y'all want to kick Dak's dog. What else y'all want to do? Y'all want to slap? Y'all want to pull Zeke's his nose ring out his mouth, out his nose, just clear out his nose. You want to just pull it out, right? You want to kick Amari Cooper in his ankle. I know. Get it on out. Jerry Jones, what you want to do to Jerry Jones? We gonna beat up Jerry Jones? Jerry Jones, he probably got one more good fight in him though. Boss Cowboy, while we was waiting for you, we was just getting all our frustrations out so that we can talk like regular. Cause you know sometimes you be all mad and you be in your feelings and you can't really express yourself the way you want to. So we just want.
Nah, man. Oh boy, I'm talking about the temperature is bad right now for a lot of people, man. Woo.
Yeah, I know. Hey, but guess what?
It's like the wind got sucked out of us.
Hey, but you know the good thing about it is, the only good thing about yesterday is there's really no Jets fans, so there should really be nobody walking up to you saying, like, hey, what happened to your team? Like for real. Like my wife's sister, who don't really, they only talk about regular family stuff, had the audacity to text her this morning talking about what happened to those Cowboys? My wife's like, baby, did the Eagles win? I'm like, no, they lost to the Minnesota Vikings. So I'm thinking, how did your team lose? But you still felt that you had a right to inbox what we got going on over here, ask us about our team.
See, because we the cheer up team, bro. That's what it is. We the
so
cheer up. Like when we lose, no, it don't. No, that's a fact. Like it's people that actually get happy after the loss because we lost. Like it's like we make them feel better about their loss. That's a fact, man. That's just how it is, bro.
That is a loser mentality.
Yeah. I saw it all over Facebook yesterday, and I saw it all over every social media platform. I had somebody personally hit me up and say, "Hey, man, I feel so much better about the Bucks when they lose. When I see y'all lose, it just makes my day." I'm like, okay. Like, I mean, I could care less if y'all lose. When I lose, it messes up my day, but it's cool.
Wow. Yeah, them some losers, bruh. Like, you's a
Yeah,
loser.
man.
You definitely a loser if you do that. You know what I'm saying? But yo, man, we didn't talk about let's jump into this game, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. We appreciate everybody sharing. Y'all see the subjects, man. We're gonna do game recap, just a kind of like a synopsis of everything we thought. Then we're gonna go in a little in-depth about this Dallas Cowboy offense. Then we're gonna go a little in-depth about these hot boys. Then we're gonna talk about I still think it needs to be there. I trade for a defensive tackle. I still think it's relevant. Then we're gonna end this thing off with a little what's on your mind scout. What's on your mind scout? And at that point, I'm probably gonna let, if you were a scout and you have my 5161 number, at that point I will allow one or two of my scouts to call their phone, and I will get you on the air and we'll talk about it for a little bit. For all my scouts, if you're a scout, you're already in the chat box and you already have my cell phone number, so you already know what it is. Don't call me before then though, unless you got a damn good point. But yo, all right, so let's get this thing popping. And if I hear anybody say something like trade Cooper for Earl Thomas, okay, yeah, I was about to levitate through this phone and slap somebody. But yo, y'all heard my game recap yesterday because you guys rocked with me the entire 4 hours of the game. So you pretty much know how I feel about the game. So I'm gonna be the gentleman. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be the gentleman and let the Boss Cowboy give his recap on this game, and it's gonna be a little synopsis of his article because you guys already know he puts out an article on the recap each week that we support over here at Dallas Cowboy Scouting. So Boss Cowboy, man, the man with the red hat. Let me know what's going on, man. What was your recap of this game?
I mean, on the recap, I'm going to just say it like this. First of all, it's already on my page. It's the first thing up, so you can't miss it. It's on the Boss Cowboy Sports on Facebook. It's also under my Twitter, which you can look at under my handle, which is Cowboy_Boss. You go find both of the recaps. It depends on how you do your social medias browser. But at the same time, just really kind of to break it down, this a coaching blunder. I mean, because it was obviously going to be hard on coaching when you saw both the tackles out. That was automatic. So everybody knew that it was going to be harder. And it was going to limit the offense. You know when both your tackles out that you can't do things as if they're playing. You have to change your offense around. But then it just got worse and worse. Then I found out that Cobb is out. It's like, okay. Then you find out Smith is out. Like, okay. And then the first series, Amari Cooper goes out. Well, then how you're going to approach the game is automatically different after that. Like everybody crying saying, they ran the ball 17 times on first down. Well, what else you going to do? Like, who's your best weapon now? It's Zeke now, right? And what you going to do when you know you don't have the threats on the outside, that's going to put pressure on Dak. He was already getting killed. What, you going to have him throwing more? No. So they had to run the ball. They had to go back to a kind of like scaled down offense just based on the personnel. But where you have to blame coaching is because you're seeing the same old patterns. People saying it's in the losses. It's not even in the losses. It's also in our wins. The trend is this. We start slow. And when we start slow, the slow starts. It's not by our worst role players. It's by our best players. So, like, I took for notes on all the breakdowns. And one of the
just to interject a quick stat real quick. This is the third consecutive game where your offense did not come out and score on the first drive, and this is the second consecutive game where your offense did not score in the first quarter. So basically, your offense only realistically had 3 quarters to try to make up whatever point differential that they were trying to make. But this is and also just we don't believe in coincidences. We believe in if that's happening all the time, then that's probably your problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the last thing, also remember that without us scoring on their first drive, this is also our third consecutive loss. So I'm pretty sure those go kind of hand in hand. But go ahead as you go into your your first couple.
Yeah, just looking at the stars, just because I broke it down because I'm big on patterns. Just go look at not even just the losses, even go back to the Giants game when we was winning. Who was the people that had the biggest drops that game? It was Zeke. It was Amari Cooper and it was Cobb, right? Go look at the Redskins too. I mean, same thing with that game. Who had the biggest drop that game? Cobb, right? Your big starters, right? Go and then obviously fast forward to the Saints game. Who was your biggest fumblers that game? Zeke and Whitney.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. And then you can look at the Green Bay game. It was the Amari Cooper drop. So like the mistakes they're making is stuff that's usually routine from your stars. Then go look at this game. Obviously, the person that got called to his big boy shoes was Gallup. Well, in the first half, he had 3 drops, and Dak was throwing high. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, Dak was throwing high, but they was catchable balls, and they was dropped. And then Witten had a drop. I mean, and then I looked at the second series on defense. It was an encroachment by Woods, a horse collar tackle by Collins. It was a pass interference on the Wuze. It was another PI on Jones. That's all in just the second series. They moved the whole ball based on penalties. And it's from my stars. It's people that's looking to get paid. The Wuze looking to get paid. Antoine Woods looking to get paid. Obviously, Malik Collins looking to get paid. Jones looking to get paid. So all the balls that's pretty much almost guaranteed to be on our roster next year because we had to pay them are the people that's dropping the ball. And so when your best are making the mistakes, what's that going more than likely trickle down to? Can we say Cedric Wilson, was he dropping balls? No. Was Tavon Austin dropping balls? No. So it's your role players that's actually playing better. Can we blame this on Cam Fleming this week? No. Can we blame Brandon Knight this week?
I'm gonna tell you this. I'll give Cam Fleming 1 sack. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I hate it for him because it came at the most opportune time. Like Cam Fleming up to that 1 sack
was doing good.
Was playing well. But the thing about it is, it's like that's your difference between your good players and the T. Smith. Because T. Smith can give you elite, and he don't even give you elite on 73 snaps, let's be real. But he'll give you elite on like 56. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where a Cam is going to give you elite on like 40, you know what I'm saying? Which is still above average. Also, boss, I want to just to kind of to solidify your point. Think of this. Think of the mistakes that we were making in the Green Bay game while we were trying to come back. Like we're the momentum. I'm in the stadium. We're down 14. I yelled out to the whole section. We need 28 points. Everybody, I said 4 touchdowns. Everybody stop tripping. And every time we scored, I was counting them down. We need 3. We need 2. By that time we got to 2, I had the stadium. We need 2. Then we throw it. We have the miscue on the goddamn penalty. Then we have the interception. Me and Boss Cowboy, we said this. I remember we did a show. I think it was after win number 2. I don't think it was after win number 3, but I think it was after win number 2. And we said this question. We said, what's the worst? Who can beat the Dallas Cowboys? What's the worst thing that can happen to the Dallas Cowboys? And you know what we both agreed? The worst opponent, ourselves.
Yeah.
Remember when they had us like number 2 best team in the NFL? What's the one team that can beat the Dallas Cowboys? Ourselves.
Yes, ourselves, and it's a culture problem. Is because the team plays hard. You can't say that they don't play hard. Nobody can say that. But the culture of the Cowboys, I think, is why you see the pattern of stars that continue to make the mistakes. Because when you somebody that see no consequences, why would you give it your all and why would you lock in? It's almost like Anthony Brown. We've been saying this over and over.
But you won't.
You're not gonna be optimized. You're not optimized. Like you're right. You locked in to where you can play, but at the same time, you're not to where you're kind of like playing at your all-star bits. So it's one of those things. It's like when you don't see consequences. Let me give you an example, and this is why I say it's culture. Because Tom Brady one time tried to. When they finally got rid of Jimmy Garoppolo, he started going to the media. Remember, he started finally kind of starting to do what's a no-no in New England about going to the media. He started kind of leaking out some dissension within New England. You know the first thing they did when he got back from his vacation? Belichick ran him. The star of your team and the GOAT. But this is what that does. When everybody see the star player of your team get real accountability, that makes everybody lock in. So that's why I'm saying it's like when you're not seeing accountability, like when Anthony Brown mess up, or Jason Winston fumble, or Zeke fumble, or Mari Cooper, it's like, where's the accountability? Where are you showing your frustration at your stars that make everybody say, okay, if he's going to check Witten, if he's going to check Cooper, if he's going to check Dak, then I know I got to lock in. It's like that's not going on. That's why I see the pattern of the role players doing their best because they know their job's on the line. But at the same time, the stars, pretty much it's a culture of we're good. No matter what I do, I'm gonna be back out here running.
And think about this: you have that. That's not even just your stars, because I don't think Zeke. I don't think Dak feels that way. I don't think that Ezekiel Elliott feels that way. But I do believe Jeff Heath feels that way, and I do believe Anthony Brown feels that way. So I don't want to just put it on my stars, because I mean, if that was the case, then Dak throws 3 interceptions. The comeback that he almost made against against the Packers would never happen if he didn't think that way. I think that there are guys on this team who have been in big games all their life, and like Dak Prescott's been in a big program. He in the SEC. He understands, bro. You got to take this thing week by week. Ezekiel Elliott, he's been in a big program. He's been at Ohio State. He understands you got to take this thing week by week. So I think these guys know how to self-check themselves. That's why I say that, like, some guys are just made for the big lights, and some guys are just backup players. Like Jeff Heath is forever going to be a backup player. Like, I don't expect him to be anything else. The problem is where you take the reality of a situation and try to put that on your expectations. Like, Jeff Heath will never be what you want him to be. Why? Because what you want him to be is bigger than what he is. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? I think Jeff Heath could, but I think when you entitle players, I mean, I saw this like when I was playing. I had a guy that
offensive player, when you let him go to when a defensive player gets to go to the offensive player what is it? The weekend trips. Like, what?
Yeah, when you see entitlement, and it's like, see, Belichick, they say Belichick does this on purpose. He intentionally does not fraternize with his players, even the GOAT. Even Tom Brady don't get trips and stuff like that with, he keep a safe distance between him and his stars. That's because he always want to keep that mystery of leadership so that they don't develop a contentness where they looking at him like, oh, you're just old. And that's why one of those things, when they left him hanging, like a lot of people say, oh, that's nothing. Then some people saying it's a big deal. It does mean something. To me, it shows it's a lack of respect, and it's almost like, man, whatever. Like, I would never do my coach like that.
Okay, ask you a question, boss. I'm gonna ask you a question, right? And this is where I have an affinity for Jason Garrett, right?
Yeah.
If I hired you as a manager of a store, right?
Right.
And I told you that I wasn't going to hire you. I was just going to put you in and see how you do. How would your said employees treat you? When the Dallas Cowboys, hold up. So when the Dallas Cowboys, and I said this at the beginning of the season, how do you expect players to respect a coach who doesn't even have a contract? Like, think about this. He's on a 1-year deal. Why am I going to buy into a guy that you don't even know is going to be here? That makes absolutely no sense. That's why I said when the Dallas Cowboys didn't know if they were going to sign Jason Garrett, to just fire him. Because you basically already fired him. And then my thing is this. If I'm a player, if I'm like a D-Law, how the hell is Jason, like, I know I'm going to be here 5 years. You don't even know if you're going to be here at the end of the season. Why would I buy into what you're selling? Think about this. I can't buy into what you're selling because the organization hasn't even bought into what you're selling because they're not even giving you a contract. That's why and I'm going to tell you the cool thing about the game is when I see Jason Garrett, you know who I also see? I see my freaking quarterback because they're in the same damn position. How can you really tell me that this offensive coordinator is bought into Dak Prescott? If he goes down, you don't even know if he's back next year. Why? Because he has no security. None. So then I put that same question on Dak. Why would Dak buy in? Like, why would he 100% buy in? When you know him and Jason Garrett are in the exact same position. And you know what's crazy? Me and you both know Who was fighting for the Dallas Cowboys to draft Dak? Jason Garrett. That's factual. Dak Prescott is a Jason Garrett guy. Jason Garrett lobbied for Dak Prescott. Lobbied, got up and was showing all types of different things. And think about this. This is while the Dallas Cowboys in 2006, Tony Romo was not hurt. Because remember, this is the draft. Tony Romo was ready. Tony Romo was ready to go into the 2016 season as our starting quarterback. And guess what? While Tony Romo was your starting quarterback, Jason Garrett was lobbying for the Dallas Cowboys to draft Dak Prescott. And that's a fact.
No, that's a fact.
And guess what? Think about this. The two most important positions on your team, the most important position in your organization, your head coach, he has no security. They say the quarterback's the most important position in all of sports. Let's just say in all of sports. In pitching, you have 5 pitchers. Point guard, you also got a shooting guard. There is only one quarterback. And think about this. The organization hasn't even bought into him. Like, that is your problem. When everybody else spent this offseason, and I said this on my live yesterday, boss, and we talked about this. When the rest of the NFL took their offseason and fixed all their personnel problems, because the NFL gives you 6 months to fix all your personnel problems. You know what we did? We talked about 6 months. Should Zeke get paid? Should that get paid? Should this person get paid? Can this person get paid? Now think about this. Cooper don't have a contract, and he's hurt. If this season starts going weird, why would Cooper even want to come back? I'm just being real. It's like these college kids that sit out of bowl games. Like I know we think because we're all Cowboys and we're all bought in that nobody thinks like that. But I'm just saying, if this season starts getting out of hand and Cooper don't think that he can, why would he come back and continue to put his body in line and he don't even got a contract? Like, the problem with the Dallas Cowboys started in April. These are the fruits of the tree we planted. You didn't have faith in your quarterback, so guess what? There's there's things that are happening. I think my quarterback won't run the ball on 3rd down why? Because someone's told him, Dak, if you get hurt, we only giving you $800,000. And that's a realistic fact. And if ain't nobody told him, his conscience has told him. Bro, if you get hit, if I run and get a 1st down and I get hit, how do I know the Cowboys are going to pay me? They didn't even pay Zeke. You don't think that goes through his mind? I do.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with a lot of what I call a Sun Tzu theory that, for the most part, Stephen Jones executed this offseason with a majority of this team being on 1-year contract, because that's actually trained in the art of war. When you purposely put
27 to be exact, 27.
Yeah, that when you purposely put most of your people against the wall, because according to the Art of War in the book, The Art of War by Sun Tzu, was a military genius. He said that if you really want to see your troops fight harder, put everybody back against the wall and where they have to fight for their lives. So from that standpoint, I agree with Stephen Jones mostly on the 1-year approaches to most of the team, because to me, that creates a culture of synergy and anxiousness and hunger and people wanting to prove it. And hopefully from a coaching standpoint, that would make Jason Garrett sometimes make decisions that's basically like, I would go with you as a friend and as a favorite, but my job is on the line, so therefore I need to do what's best for the team.
Yep.
So I did like the thought of it, but I'm not liking the execution of it.
Yep.
And
then you can't do that on, bro.
And some positions you can't do that on, right? You can't do that, and then with your quarterback who's earned it, and you can't do it with your receiver who's earned it, because at this point there's enough data that's out there that shows that the 2 people that's carrying the team, I ain't gonna say 2, I've been consistent on this. The people that's really carrying this team offensively are the triplets.
And boss, think about this: Wentz and Goff. Dak's playing better than both of them. With the 3 losses, he's still playing better than.
He's still number 1 in QBR. Still number 1 in QBR.
This is the bro. You cannot tell me Dak is 100% bought in, knowing that they're not bought in with him. And we're on.
I mean,
we're on Dallas Cowboy offense now. So if anybody's wondering, we're past the recap. We're on Dallas.
Yeah, we passed the recap. Yeah, and the mental toughness of Dak to still
ridiculous.
play the way that he's playing, knowing that you plan for money every week, and
That
knowing
you
that you
already
can
earned.
that you've already earned, and that any one of these games can be used as leverage against you in the court of public opinion and the court of public contract talks. So, but he's still choosing to play under that pressure. And just keep this in mind. This is the first quarterback out of the last 10 young franchise quarterbacks that's ever had to play for his contract during the season on his final year. Every one of the quarterbacks coming up into their final year was all enumerated before the season started, so they wouldn't have to even worry about the distraction of a contract while they're playing. And what did Russell Wilson say before April 15th?
Russell Wilson said this. I'm going to look everybody in the camera. Russell Wilson told his organization that if you do, I always get the date wrong, so tell me the date before I say it. So
It was April 15th.
I know it was the 15th. All right. So Russell Wilson said, "Go Hawks." He said, "Look,
Go
me and
Hawks.
Sierra, my wife Sierra's got an album that's about to drop, and I don't want to have to deal with any of this. If I don't have a contract before April 15th, I will not talk about it for the rest of the season. Go Hawks."
Yep.
And you know, the organization said, "Hey, how much you want to give him?"
They paid him at 2 a.m. the morning. The only pushback they gave him is we didn't pay you on the 15th, but we paid you on the 16th at 2 a.m. 2 hours after the 15th expired.
So
they say
that's like you walking in to pay your cell phone bill, and you pay it, and you slap it on the day. Here, take this money. That's
exactly
what they did.
That's what they did. But it was a good decision because it was a great decision that they did because it was about football. His reason made sense. He said, I do not want to even prepare for the season with distraction. Now take that and think about what Dak is going through right now. Every loss, whether it's on him or not, it's going to be pointed at him. His money going to be a topic. He going to hear about it. Instead of being able to fully tune out and know that he's secure, he know that he got to play for it again and again and again. This is exactly what the front office has put on our quarterback. So then you're right. There are certain positions you shouldn't do that to.
You should not do that to, bro.
You shouldn't do that to. And that's why we set a precedent when we did it to him. It's like most people don't even see that we actually put our quarterback in a situation.
First time that's ever been done, bro.
It's the first time it's ever been done. And so when you looking at the meltdown of confidence, how many times you go ask your players to be mentally tough while y'all messing up? Yeah, like how many times you go, and that's why I put in my article, like if you just look at Anthony Brown and you look at Jordan Lewis, I literally got real mad and almost threw my phone when he got that interception. Because it was like, how many more of these could we have had?
Oh my, hey boss, you know what's crazy? Two things. I always be, I ain't gotta say this. You my brother in Christ, you my brother in Cowboy, man. There's always two times where I think about you, bro. One, whenever Anthony Brown does anything. And I'm gonna tell you guys, like last week, this is a bunny trail. Last week, one of my players canceled on me because of some other ish, right? So I had to in the last moment, I had to get another player to come through, right? And it was Anthony Brown, right? And right before that, like Boss Cowboy dropped this explosive film on the internet. It just go air, it just go crazy, blood and guts everywhere. And so I'm walking, I'm like, okay, AB here. Then I'm thinking, I see Boss Cowboy, I'm like, come here. Hey, bro, Anthony Brown's gonna be here.
And then you said like that. Well, funny part, you said, "Hey, Anthony Brown here. You might have to box him. You know, you were just playing. You would just play. Yeah, you might have to box him, But the point is, like, you know, when you speaking truth and speaking facts and put film out there on certain players, sometimes it's gonna be you gonna run into them. Yeah. You know, and when you run into them, you gotta face it.
Hey, and the next time, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like when Jordan Lewis got that interception, I actually got frustrated. And you guys, got frustrated. You guys saw it live. Like I actually got infuriated. Because I'm the type of person, when I get my commission check, I think about, dang, it's $2,000, but dang, it would have been $4 if I would have got that 5-liner. It probably would have been $3 if I would have got that line. I think about all the money I didn't get. Like
The
that's
opportunity
where
cost.
the opportunity cost. Boom! I love doing shows with another business-minded person. You know what I'm talking about? Just for real, man.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No,
man,
that's real
that's what I'm
business.
thinking about. So when I see Jordan Lewis gets an interception in a game that we're down, you know what I'm thinking? Well, what about all them damn passes Aaron Rodgers was throwing?
Yeah.
What about all them passes Tony Bridgewater was throwing? What if
Yeah.
what if he would have got that interception in one of those games? We probably would have won that game.
Right.
And then we got no points off of it.
Yeah, and we said last week, you put a bullet. What does the Cowboys need to do to increase their balls, their interceptions? And you said takeaways. The two things we said is do what? Put the balls with the ball skills on the field. And sure enough, like it's frustrating when you ain't.
That was you, boss, that said that. Because remember, I asked you, boss. Because I said, boss. So what would you do? Why? We got to do something to get interceptions. And your exact answer, you actually responded to that video. I appreciate you for that. But you said this. You said, well, bro, the two best players on the team who got ball skills aren't even playing. So I'm like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Then you look at that, like, how can you even ask? I don't expect interceptions. You should not expect interceptions from Byron Jones. I don't.
No,
his career
you
shows that he does not. Cheeto,
right.
If you go look at his career, it doesn't show that either. The only people on our team that have shown to be, that's why I don't understand why Devin Smith isn't playing. Why? Because a team that wants to throw the ball deep, that's what his tape says. His tape says throw the ball deep to him. So I don't get why he's not active and 83 is. And 83 don't even play. Whatever. But yeah, that's ball Smith, the ball hawk guys who career known. Put it like this. Donovan Wilson had 5 interceptions in a game his sophomore year in high school. His sophomore year in high school, he broke the state, actually tied the state record with 5 interceptions. His mama sent me the tape. 5 interceptions. Then he leads all defensive players in preseason. Now, I had someone tell me the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Someone said, well, West Coast, just because he played good in preseason doesn't mean he gets to play in the regular season.
Well, what's the use of preseason? I mean, preseason is, okay, let me just say it like,
you'd be like, what the?
Yeah, that stank.
Did you fart?
That straight stank. Yeah, that was a stank comment. See, because the way that Bill Parcells used preseason and training camp was totally different than how we use it today.
Yeah.
I'm still in Jaquez's comment because I got it from him. We have predetermined rosters. We have people that we already know we go put on this team regardless of how they perform. That's why, and it's just what it is. But Bill Parcells said something different. I was looking at, history on him, and he said, why do you think we have training camp? We not just go start guys that haven't shown me why they should start.
Boom.
See, because some people use training camp for real evaluation and to determine what do you really do under the light. Some people feel like they already know what's gonna happen, so they gonna be like, this is basically just going through the fluff. This really means nothing to us because we're gonna do what we want to do, and that's where we are right now in our culture. That's why right now, I'm definitely not for firing Jason Garrett right now. If y'all saying fire Jason Garrett right now, absolutely not. You bet not fire Jason Garrett right now. No. And it's only one person, if they did it, I would be for doing it. It would be for Chris Richardson. I'm not even high on him right now.
No,
but I'm not. I'm definitely exactly because he's puppet too. Like if you really look at it and look at it honestly.
Explain that a little, because we the only people saying that, and I don't want nobody to think we just hate.
Now people starting to catch on. I was listening to the fan and everything. It's people starting to kind of.
When they start catching on? Did they catch on 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago?
We was. I know we was first. I know that, but I say this.
So you say that.
No, but I'm glad people starting to catch on because I'm not really high on Christian Charles either. And this is what he mean by explain a little. When you don't have the moxie and the muscle to play the obvious best men that's going to help this team, why would we trust you with the whole team? Because basically you're going to be a yes man. You basically a yes man part 2, but you're a more animated version of Jason Garrett, and that would be an upgrade because I do believe that sometimes we need passion. When we get behind, we way too flat. It's like everybody is dead. Like I'm gonna give a perfect example. Everybody remember the there's no catch or catch, whatever you want to say about it, right? But think about the game after that when they played Seattle. You remember what happened with Seattle?
They got blew out.
Russell Wilson threw 4 interceptions in the first half, and they came back and won that game. Yep. But you know why? They had passion. They had passion, and it was passion. And you know what? You know what their head coach Pete Carroll was doing when they was behind like 4 touchdowns, running up and down the sideline, looking every one of his players in the face like, "You bet not quit.
Yeah.
You bet not quit." Now, it's when you get flat like that, what you're asking for is momentum to get the emotions back into the game. Sometimes you need a leader that can inspire you even when things are flat. And we don't have that with Jason Garrett. That's just honest.
But just be honest with you though. It doesn't matter if we get the most. They can put West Coast. I know ain't nobody got more fire than me. But when you have fire on the sidelines, and your owner of your team, your boss, comes into the media and says, "That's not what we're looking for." Why would you do that? That's what I be saying.
I agree, bro. I can't fight truth, bro. I'm sorry. I just can't.
Quick. Like everybody be saying, Jason Garrett needs to be more this and more that. Well, guess what?
You're right.
Chris Richard did that in the Philadelphia game. Remember last year? And management did not support him. Management said in the media that is not what we're looking for in a coach. So what do you think?
Even though that obviously inspired them, too. That pushing match. Yeah, and just I'm echoing your point. To your point, basically what West Coast is saying is almost regardless of who the coach is going to be, we have a front office that got a bad habit of getting in the way.
They don't want that, bro. They don't think about this. Everybody's saying we need more fire, more passion. When you had Des Bryant, where did that get him? They don't want fire and passion. Like, do you guys not understand that? This is what I can't fight that. You want a coach raging up and down and throwing, but the Cowboys do not want that. Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and I'm gonna tell you guys why. Because you can't sell that. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I gotta say it. I feel that y'all love me, so I know I step out of line sometimes, but I'm gonna just be real with y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all, to Fortune 500 companies that want to sponsor the Cowboys, that's just a black man walking up and down the field yelling. I'm just being real with you. And I'm gonna tell you who said that first. Stephen A. Smith said that's why he don't yell as much. He said because he don't want people just seeing him as a black man just yelling on the street. And to be honest with you, Jerry Jones cares about that. Hence the reason the day that he signed the biggest contract in Dallas Cowboy history, he wasn't even there. You know where he was? He was at the stock exchange getting $90 million. Bruh, they care about that.
No, they do, man. And look, and anybody that disagrees with that just don't really know the patterns of the Dallas Cowboys, because you got to look at the patterns. What West Coast is saying, and I agree with this, they have a nasty habit of mixing business and football. Jalen Smith contract, the Dak thrown under the bus, the Cooper thrown under the bus, the Zeke thrown under the bus. All that was Kardashian, what I call Kardashian PR, where you basically taking your what's supposed to be private, ugly negotiations, you putting out in the public because it's good business. You go get good ratings. Everybody gonna be talking about it. But it's bad for football because it's a distraction to your team, and you asking all of your best players to be tough-minded as you throw them under the bus. So the pattern of what you just said is exactly who we are.
Just so like it's almost Doug Peterson. Remember, Doug Peterson says, "I guarantee a win." Do you think a coach on the Dallas Cowboys, if Jason Garrett came out and said exactly what Doug Peterson said, Stephen Jones would come onto the fan and be like, "Hey, we respect our opponents, and we just want to make sure that we're not putting."
They would override it.
Bro, they would override.
Yeah, they would override it. Yeah. And see, and I understand what Doug is doing. The psychological thing that Doug is doing, he's taking the pressure off the players by putting it on himself. That's real leadership.
Yep.
That's really all he did. He's like,
ownership that's letting them do it though.
Yeah, he got ownership that's sitting back like, I respect that, and I know exactly what you're doing. So it takes the pressure off Wentz. It takes pressure off that D front. It takes pressure off this loss they just took. He said, I'm going to take all the pressure by guaranteeing it on me.
Yep.
So it's not going to be any focus on any of them going into this week. If we take an L, I'm going to be the one that's going to get slapped for that. And it makes the players play for you. Because it's like we want to make sure his word is good, So it's one of those things to where you're right. Like if Jason Garrett came out and said, "Yeah, I guarantee we're gonna be Philly," you're right. They will go right on the fan and say it within 5 seconds that we do not echo that statement at all. We respect Philly, and they would throw Gatorade right on that statement, man. Like, nope, that didn't just happen. So. And that's why, honestly, I believe this, man. I think Jason Garrett gonna be better when he gone, because I think Jason Garrett has a lot of intelligence, and it's super hard to navigate through the politics of the Cowboys. Because it's almost like this: if you want to keep your job, right, and your team and your owners draft a quarterback, you know what Jason Garrett go do? He go play that quarterback.
Yeah.
But the Redskins coach did. He said, I ain't draft him. I'm not playing him, and I don't believe in him. So guess what happens? He's looking for a job. So like in certain political environments, it's almost like you got to deal with the hand that you dealt. And then the problem with that is it takes away your authority and your power when people don't respect you. That's why when you're putting out your...
It takes away your knowledge too, because you're not going off your knowledge. If hey, Boss Cowboy, you are a professional insurance person. That's what you do for a living. You are a professional insurance. You sell professional insurance. That's how you feed your family. I hire you to sell me insurance, but I tell you what I'm gonna do. How do me, the consumer, how am I more intelligent than the person who's providing the service? That does not make sense. And you know where else that happens? You know where else that happens? When you take your car to get it fixed at a mechanic. Yep. We all do it. Like, wait, time out. You said I needed an alternator. Why I need brake? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. And it's like, and see, now it's things that we talked about in the offseason that people called us Debbie Downer on. Like, I watched Jason Garrett face when they
this entire draft.
Well, when they got Tristan Hill, and I remember Jason just sitting there like, what the F? But poker face
and Chris Richard.
Yeah, like what?
Both of them was sitting there
like how can you see? And when you sit in a position like this, when Cooper down, right? When Cobb down, Devin Smith is down, right? And you going out there with Tavon, and you going out there with Wilson, 4 or 5 Wilson, and saying, okay, go beat this motivated team with like people that's not even really quality, right? It's no threat. It's nothing scary about Wilson and Tavon at receiver, nothing, right? And you think to yourself, this could have been DK.
Could have been Juan Thornhill. Let's just say it, man.
It could have been Thornhill.
Thornhill was
DK.
the best player on. Think about this. Thornhill yesterday, when I seen him play, was the best player on a defense that has 3 All-Pros. I don't want to hear nothing else about Tristan Hill. He was the best player on a defense that has 3 All-Pros. 3 dudes making over $80-90 million and a second-round pick. To be honest with you, he looked better than Tyrann Mathieu.
Hey, my boy Kerry, man, I probably won't swing the high boys. My boy Kerry say the 49ers stole the high boys theme and living up to it. That's cold.
Can I speak on my high boys real quick, man? Because I get people in my inbox, like, for real, like, I get people in my inbox all day banging on me because of my Hot Boys. And I'm going to tell you guys this, man. The Hot Boys are not the Hot Boys, just like a Lamborghini is not a Lamborghini without a 1200 horsepower engine. Guess what? I can take my engine from my BMW 530 right now. It's brand new. It's nice, too. I'm paying a good little note for it, too. And I take that engine out as good as it is, and I drop it in a Lamborghini. Guess what? That Lamborghini is only going to be as fast as that BMW was. The Hot Boys are not the Hot Boys while you're getting gassed in the middle. They're not. Think of the 2 games last year where the Hot Boys, the 2 worst games of last year was what? Indianapolis and what? The game that we lost. And what happened in both those games? You got ran up the middle. Without a D tackle, stopping all that, all of it's done. Think about this, Boss Cowboy, because, man, I love your memory. Chris Richard said about this, about Tristan Hill. He said, well, I'm going to tell you guys like this. If you got yourselves a good D tackle, then guess what? We don't need one of these big name safeties. Well, guess what happens? Well, what happens when the D tackle isn't good then? That means you still have a safety problem.
You still got a safety problem, and we're witnessing that now.
And then I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you guys what's gonna be the worst effect of not having a D tackle. Well, guess what happened to Sean Lee's career? How much better of his career you think he would be a linebacker if he didn't have to have 175 tackles, 150 tackles? That is not good. I know people be thinking, oh my God, Sean Lee led the league in tackles again. Yes, well, guess what? He can't even stay on the field anymore. You want to know why? Because you take a toll on your body. That's the D tackle's job. Once again, we had a game where your safety had the most tackles. Any game, I don't give a dang. It could be pee-wee football. If I ever look at a stat column and I see a team where the safeties have more tackles than anybody else, you lost that game, bruh.
Yeah.
If you want the Hot Boys back, get a D tackle. We need a D tackle. We put way too much faith on Tristan Hill, and we are getting zero. Think about this. We're not even getting his body there because now he went back to being inactive. Let's just say it. And for all y'all folks who disrespected Taco, I'm that guy that's going to remind you, you was wrong. Taco over there balling.
And now Armstrong out. So
and now Armstrong out. Now oh my God, thank you, boss, for reminding me. Look, we got to trade for a D tackle, bro. We need a D tackle.
Man, and then I think also what's going on right now, man, I listened to Stephen Jones twice. Stephen Jones is not even in the market unless he's playing some serious poker. He said on the Raw's defense, and historically, you never saw him with one of those big DTs. And the matter of fact, to get one of those, you have to be a top 10 draft. And it's like, well, Stephen, I'm gonna be honest with you. You passed on him. You really did. When you had an opportunity to get some of them that was former top 10s in free agency, you passed on them, man.
McCoy,
and you
say McCoy, Gerald McCoy. You had a chance to give him Gerald McCoy, Daniels from Green Bay, Snacks, Harrison, and there was one more because there's 4 of them. McCoy.
It was 5 of them. Donovan Sue.
And 2 of them actually said they wanted to come to Dallas. These are people who physically said, and Donovan Sue put on a Cowboys jersey. Snacks Harrison came to the playoff game in a Antoine Woods jersey, and Gerald McCoy said he would play for the Cowboys.
Yeah, they was lobbying literally to be Dallas Cowboys. And so it's one of those things to where I heard him just a minute ago say, you know, our 2 starting DTs are injured, but they're both will be healthy after the bye week. But it's like our season is on the line now, man. And that's like really what's going on. It's like the only people I think they need to have the same urgency that they had when they went and got Cooper. But what they did is they waited to where it was almost impossible, right? 3 and 5 to dig out of it and said, oh shit. Yeah, oh shit. Exactly. I ain't cuss. I just gave the first SH. Oh shit. We really do need a number 1. Like, let's not wait on that because it was clear by game 3 that we didn't have an outside threat to help Dak. It was clear, but we still just kind of stuck with the committee. It's the exact same thing we doing at DT. You got Ross out for the year. You got Antoine Woods, who been an absolute soldier coming in, playing on a banged up knee. But he played good, but he's not himself yet. No, he need help. He need help.
He was limping.
Yeah, I saw him check himself out the game. He checked. Yeah, so he playing out there hurt, and you out there like basically his knee injury gonna be just okay because of 2 weeks of rest. No, that man gonna be dealing with that to week 17 into the playoffs. So then you got that. Then you got Tristan Hill, which you promised was going to be an impact player. He's not even active, so count him out. So it's like it's an obvious void. And then you got also Crawford, who got the hip issues, where they were saying only 2 weeks ago they didn't know if he was going to be active at all. So you got all our DTs and our best DTs playing through a bunch of pain, and you acting like we're going to ride this ship. It doesn't make sense. Like, how was it an emergency in the offseason, but all of a sudden we going to just ride it out? No, this is not a ride-out moment. This is a moment where you got to say, hey, man, what are we willing to give up to save this season? Because right now, to your point, West Coast, if we get an impact DT player that can stop that run, that makes the hot boys come out like Quinn and Tank, and it helps our secondary, our whole secondary.
Yeah.
By getting a real, like,
and you prolong
and nobody can tell me that David Urban wouldn't fix all of this, bro.
He would.
So and I said his name not to say I'm hoping he comes back. I'm saying that's the power of an impact 3-tech, bro. When you got a 3-tech that can really run, penetrate, and really push that front line back at the point of attack, that opens up everything. That helps Jalen. That helps LBE. They not taking on all that trash. That helps your coverage. That puts that quarterback on his toes. He throwing off his back foot. Everything helps when you got somebody that can penetrate in the middle. Right now, we don't got it. And Steven is literally over here like, we ain't even thinking about it.
Nope. That's a good point. That's a phenomenal good point. And I'm reading some of these comments. He says, we're talking about, like we basically put ourselves in a position where Tristan Hill had to work. Like in the fact that, and I always speak about
perfect
this.
to say it.
I always say this. I had a business mentor who told me never do business with someone who does not take in consideration that the business may fail. You know what I'm saying? You want to know why? Because at that time I had 2 kids. He said because you got 2 kids and they still got to eat tomorrow. Like, you know what I'm saying? Never do business with someone who will not take in consideration that the idea may just not work. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I feel like the Dallas Cowboys went in here. It was definitely an arrogance to say that and then think about this. There were even D tackles that had a higher grade because we still could have picked a D tackle. Like, I just don't like the fact that we reached on a guy who his everything about his scouting report said that he's ready next year and the year to come. And you picked a guy who has to be able to play impactful right now.
Yeah, it's almost like
that's not even Tristan Falk's fault. Tristan Hill's fault.
I'm gonna be honest. It's almost like Rod got too much influence, man. Because like Steven, I see you override whoever you want to override, man. But you over here like, well, you know, Rod historically never had a. It's like, so whatever Rod say you going with, bro. It's like you are the man. You and Jerry have the ultimate veto pen, and sometimes you got to look at your team, not what Rod is saying. And we really know Rod works miracles, but we also know the way Rod works his defensive tackles, that they get hurt. It's not a coincidence that every year we have, unless we got a freak in there like David Irvin, they end up hurt.
Yeah, that's true. And David Irvin got hurt.
Yeah, it's like we have to rotate them out.
Antoine West got hurt. Tyrone Conference got hurt.
Yeah, and Steven said why. Steven said why. Steven said it in the offseason because he knows this. Steven said in the offseason, Rod demands 150% on every snap. There's no snaps that he allows to be taken off. So when you have B players that you're able to coach up to A players, that impacts their bodies. That's why you have to have a natural freak like an Allen or Sue. You gotta have guys that, hey man, I wake up like this, like Beyonce say, I wake up looking like this. I wake up a freak. You know what I mean? I wake up a super nasty.
I can wake up.
Stop the run guy. And David Irvin said it, and trust me, I'm not saying David Irvin somehow coming back. What I'm saying is just think about what really makes this defense go. What makes this defense go, and we say it ourselves, a powerful 3 tech. That's what we said. But since you're the one that you got at 58 ain't working, you got to go pay for it.
You got to go pay for it. You just don't be like, and then basically what the Cowboys did is like, okay, since that plan didn't work, we're just going to fix the plan next year. So no, like you should have had a plan B. What if Tristan Hill isn't working out? What if he isn't as good as we think he is? What if he just a rookie? Like what if he just has a regular rookie season like most rookie D tackles? Because I'm going to be honest with you, unless you're like a top 10 pick, and unless you're like from Alabama, the competition from going from the ACC or from wherever the UCF is to the NFL, you got to think of this. There's not a few, when you play corner, you might play against some rookie, okay, wide receivers. When you play, this position, you may play it, but when you play D tackle, you are always playing against a veteran center because there ain't too many centers, there ain't too many rookie centers starting. And there ain't too many centers that ain't good that are starting. Like, usually, people put some money into their centers and their guards. So think about this. You're running into the strength of a team, and you're underweight. Like, bro, he doesn't even have the body. His body is not structured, nor is it built right now to do what we want him to do.
Not yet. And don't get West Coast and not wrong. We're not saying Tristan Hill won't eventually get there. But
I'm just saying that right now.
But not right now. And it was like, we looked at his grade. This is one thing. Look, West Coast invested in the Dane Buglers.
Actually, my scout.
Somebody
Bishop,
invested into it, but Bishop paid for it. West Coast and I read it. And we read it with all the people, especially that we were looking at.
This is the Cowboys draft book that they sell at the store for $5.99. This is their book.
Yeah,
Their
so
draft guy.
Dane Bugler wrote this, and Bugler right now is around these colleges scout. He's a scout 24/7.
That's all he does.
He's 2 years ahead on all of us. Like when we start looking, he been looking. Trust me, right? So he had a fourth round grade on Tristan. I had a fourth round grade on Tristan. Then I started looking around at most analysts, and they had fourth round grade on Tristan. The only people that had second round grade on Tristan was Cowboy fans, and the Dallas Cowboys. That's it. So with me and West Coast was like, bro, I don't know about him at 58. Now I can see him at 90.
And boss, and think about this, they knew it was a reach. That's why they started putting all the information out. Oh, they spent time. Like, why was Rob Marinelli spending time with Tristan Hill on his birthday? Like, why did you give this one guy more overlook than all the other D tackles that were available? Like, it really sounded like they fell in love with him early. Like, they were in love with Tristan Hill early. And, like, they just, like, why was you giving that much of a guy, that much look to be hanging out with him on his birthday? Like, bro, there was 47 other D tackles we could have been looking at that could have been better. That were available. Man.
Yeah, so like what we really need everybody to do, man, is kind of spread the word on us needing a DT. Like, look, your voice matter. Like, because right now Steven talking like he not even thinking about it. But right now, going into Philly, y'all mark my words, this is one of the main reasons why their coach guaranteed to win, because he's sizing up our middle. He's saying, y'all not going to stand up to our hogs up front.
Up the middle.
We going to run right at y'all. That's basically what he's saying. He's saying, look, it's almost just like what Jerry Jones did. Not Jerry, Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson looked at Buffalo line and said, man, them boys can't handle us, man. Go right at them boys. And that totally demoralized them when we did that in the Super Bowl in the 90s. That totally that won us the Super Bowl right there when Jimmy said, run that same play. Run it again. Run it again. And that's what he's betting on. He's saying they too banged up. They watching Woods check himself out the game. They looking at Tristan Hill inactive. They looking at Covington overworked, right? He's supposed to be rotating. He getting a whole lot.
And Kerry Hyder's playing defensive end now.
Yeah, bro. So it's one of those things to where he said, look, we know how to beat y'all. We gonna run at y'all. Just like y'all think y'all gonna run at us, we gonna run at y'all. Yeah. That's what he's saying. So, and then that's after, if they run at us and win doing that, that's when we gonna say, damn, we might need a DT. Because then the trade deadline gonna be like a week away. But it's like, nah, bro, you need to be thinking about that before we even start the game.
Exactly. Like they should have woke up this morning, like, what DT can we get?
Yeah, they should have been on it last week, man. I would have been happy if I would have just heard, hey, Dallas just acquired X. You know what I mean? X first rounder. What was that guy you said for the Jets? Williams?
Leonard Williams. He played last night, man. I ain't gonna lie. That boy was smashing that. He smashed twice. Twice he got it.
And they put him out there. Yeah. And they put him out there that he up for a trade.
Yeah.
And we said that was gonna happen. West Coast, we said that was gonna happen. Everybody was like, "There's no DTs available." I say, as it get closer to the trade deadline, teams gonna start leaking who they are up to trade. And he's up for a trade right now. The question is, are we on the phone or are we over here like we was on receiver by committee? We're good.
Yeah. Hey, last thing I want to talk about before we get over here is what's on your mind, Scout, man. We always take a little kind of a pulse of what everybody's thinking about, and I think the pulse of everybody wants to talk about. We kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. We didn't actually talk about this actual subject, and I think the fact that you have two, I played semi-pro ball. My boy, Boss Cowboy, he played Division I ball at a huge university, University of Houston. So you have a lot of knowledge between the two of us right now at this position and this question. And basically the question is, why aren't our DBs getting their heads around, and why are they not turning their heads around? And to be honest with you, I think it's a great question, because even though my boy Jordan Lewis got the interception, like, the reason why I believe it's a coaching thing is because then Jordan Lewis gave up an 18-yard pass doing the exact same thing, not getting his head around. So it's like, to me, I see honestly, I said this. I said I don't believe that Coach Richard is pushing that in their head as much as my Coach Dixon was driving it in my head, because it still comes out of my head when I see it, bro. Turn your head around. Like, even if you get burnt, turn your head around. Why? Because I've seen guys intercept the ball just by turning their head around. Why? Because you don't know how far that ball is going. That ball can easily be underthrown. You turn the ball around, you take the ball. Why do our corners refuse to turn the head around?
They coach that way.
That's I know that's the same thing I said. That's the way they're coached.
Yeah, they coach that way, man. It's just what it is. They not go do it. So, like, you can preach.
That's not been preached in their head.
Yeah. Cause see, it's. Look, I had many cornerback coaches, and all of them teach different. And you expected to do it the way that they teach you to do it too. You know, that's just what it is. So it's one of those things to where you have certain coaches that really allow their corners to be athletes. They say, hey, man, that ball is just as much as yours as it is the receivers, and I want you to make a play on the ball. And they coach that way. They do drills that way. They actually teach you like a receiver. You doing high point drills, and you doing everything to prepare to be receiver when that ball is in the air. That's how some are coached. Yeah. Then you have those that teach to play through their hands. If you're playing through the hands, that means you got to wait for the ball to come down, see it, and then after you see the ball come down and you see their eyes get big or they finally reach their hands out for the ball, you go in there and you strip the ball out. Yeah. That's how I teach you like a receiver. So it's two ways of teaching it, and you're not going to see us turning around for the ball as long as Chris Richard is teaching that.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, I ain't gonna say it's sad because, like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm kind of perplexed, man, because, like, you know, he did such a good job in Seattle. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna be honest with you, like, he also got fired in Seattle. So, like, I'm not saying nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's somebody's ex, right? You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, and then they was getting picks different. Like, they was getting picks because of intelligence. Like it was certain things.
Defensive line too. So think about this.
Yeah, and I learned some things from Sherman intelligence. Like, for instance, in cover 3, what we was taught when I was playing corner is you need to split the number 1 threat and the number 2 threat. So just imagine, if y'all looking at my fingers, 2 receivers coming at you like this. You're supposed to split them right down the middle, because if the ball is thrown to either one and it's in your third, break on the ball. That's how we was taught. What Sherman would do is he would do what's called a 20-80. So if my fingers is right here, he would play it right here, and it would give the illusion to that quarterback that this guy was open. Right. So when he threw the ball, Sherman, being this guy, would then break over and make that interception. That's because he was showing a look that he was open when he actually wasn't open. He was giving him a 20-80 look. Right. So that was just pure intelligence. And I was mad when I saw Sherman teach on that, because I was the one that was splitting the defenders and I wasn't baiting the quarterbacks to make that throw versus Sherman would. And he would get at least 4 interceptions on that a year. And that's just on intelligence. So, and that didn't have anything to do with getting your head around. That had to do with baiting the quarterback. So, and he did. Anybody go look that up? You can look it up on YouTube where Richard Sherman talks about it, and he teaches on how to bait quarterbacks into interceptions, and that's one of the things he taught. And so, and I saw somebody else say that there's a controversy between cover 2 and cover 3. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, either one of those coverages is no real controversy. Like, there's no controversy between cover 2 and cover 3.
Yeah, that's because you either have 2 safeties or you have 1.
Exactly. You got, so, because and some people don't, I mean, we go teach it on this show, but some people don't understand that they make it bigger than what it is.
It really is, yeah, because they almost damn the same coverage depending on where the safety is, or you can actually hide one just by making your safety come up a little bit.
Yeah, and then with cover 3,
that's more for the corners of anything.
And it's about discipline. It's about it's kind of knowing how routes are going to develop, and then there are certain times cover 3 can become man when there's no threat in your third, right? And that's where you as a corner have to be able to analyze routes and how they're developing. So, like, say if there's 2 receivers on your side, right? Let's say they sitting like this, right? And then one receiver takes off on a drag. Well, if it's one left and there's nobody threatening your zone, you might as well play him a little tighter instead of playing him off into your deep thirds. Because that's all cover 3 is playing the thirds. It's one corner has a third, a safety has the middle third, and the other corner has the other third, everything deep. Yeah. They giving up everything underneath because everything is accounted for. The whole zones is accounted for, the hook zones, the middle zone, and the flats.
You're keeping the plays in front of you.
You're keeping it in front of you. So it's like we try to make it so when we saw Wooze get beat on cover 3, that's all on the Wooze and that's all on Heath because ain't no way either supposed they got beat deep on that.
Because Heath, as the safety, has what's called the deepest man deep. So that means no matter how far this man goes, someone should be at least 3 yards deeper. That's why I can't wait. That's why I can't wait for the coaches for him to come out because I promise what I believe happened is 2 mistakes happened. I think your safety got caught looking in the backfield.
Yep.
I think he probably looked. I think there was a play action. If I'm not mistaken, there was a play action on it, and I think he just dog. You know how a dog see a treat and just take off. Dog. That's what I think he did. And it's you know what he said. What we call that he caught peeking. And then guess what?
Yep, caught peeking.
He saw his head stem up, and I'm pretty sure you can look at Jeff Heath's mouth, and he says,
"Oh sh." And then the next thing that happened was worse because my coach used to teach us this. If you see him throw it, you go see him catch it, right? Yep. So the worst thing about Heath, when you look at his eyes when they was beat on that 92-yard touchdown, is he was looking at the ball.
Yeah, he was.
The first thing you're supposed to do is go to the man. The first thing you're supposed to do is run to the man because if you're looking at the ball, the receiver is running to get up under that ball versus if you run to him, he gonna take you to the ball. You know what I mean? So he was looking at the ball and then DBs, let's just be honest. DBs don't have years and years of tracking balls like receivers. Yeah. Like that's all receivers do all day is catch balls. Yeah, so it's like DBs will lose the ball in the air versus receivers and people that play punt return and stuff like that. They have a natural understanding of how to project where the ball is coming down. So it was a lot of mistakes on that had to do more so with discipline. And like we talked about at the beginning of the show, it's the boys that's kind of like entitled and your stars that's making the mistakes because there's no consequences. So Heath go come out there again, even though, and I promise you this gonna happen, y'all, even though your boy Jordan Lewis got that interception like we all predicted he would, when soon as Brown is healthy and they say his hamstring okay, he gonna roll out as a starter. So there's no way you gonna be able to have your stars play great if there's no consequences for bad plays.
Yeah, and then there's also no rewards for good play. Because there's 2 sides of that coin. Like Donovan Wilson should have been rewarded for his good play in the preseason. What type of message are you sending to your team? You're basically saying that the preseason it's just for the preseason is I don't know what it's for. Because
it's predetermined. It's predetermined. PFF can grade you, and literally graded Wilson and graded Lewis the best. And the Cowboys say, so, to your point, good performance means nothing. It's like we play who we want to play. We start who we want to start. And if you look closely, what's happening is even the guy that was up and coming is getting less and less and less reps. Jarwin. Yep. Jarwin is getting less and less.
3 touchdown Jarwin, remember?
3 touchdown who should be ramping up and Witten should be ramping down. What's happening is
1 year contract. Like it doesn't even make sense why you're giving so much opportunity to Jason Witten, trying to ingratiate him into an offense, and then you're gonna have to change everything when he leaves next year again. That makes no sense.
Yeah. So the culture and then West Coast said it best. Can you even blame Jason Garrett? Because if Jason Garrett go out there and do opposite of what front office is talking about, who they want on the field,
they're gonna lose his job.
He gonna lose his job. So you got Chris Richard over here like, I'm telling y'all, Jordan Lewis is my exception. He said it. The last time he said it upset, didn't he, West Coast? He said, how many times I'm gonna say that he's an exception to my height and weight measurable rule.
What they were really asking him, and they just didn't want to flat out ask him, is if just Chris Richard, if he's the exception, why is he not playing? That's right. And think about this: the very first play of the game was made by Jordan Lewis.
Right. And then everybody keep asking, because everybody looking for common sense. So first of all, never expect common sense out of political organization. Never expect it, because then also. Don't call nobody crazy for starting to look at certain conspiracies either, because when you got a political organization, it's not always about common sense. Because people asking stuff like, how could Jerry Jones fire Tom Landry the first day, and how can Jerry Jones fire Jimmy Johnson, but he keep Jason Garrett? Well, let me explain it to you.
Oh my God, that is a great point.
Well, let me just explain it
Go
to
ahead.
you. It's one of those things to where what Frank Sinatra say.
I did it my way.
Boy, you said it, boy. I didn't know if you was gonna get it, but you got it.
Oh,
I
Blue
did
Eyes
it my
White
way.
Sox. That's my
Like
dog.
at a certain level, man. Sometimes it's always kind of boiled down to ego. How long we been saying that? We've been saying that all off season too. That a lot of times it just boiled down to good old fashioned ego, where it's like, look, man, if I get rid of Jason Garrett, I don't have somebody that I can basically dictate everything I want, and I'm gonna have to now battle my ideas. Like if you with Bill Parcells, oh Jerry, you gonna have to sell your ideas. It ain't gonna just be given. When you got a coach that got some real nuts, that's gonna be like, bro, I'm literally here to win. I'm not here to be your puppet. I'm here to basically make decisions that's best for the team. And I don't really feel Heat, so I'm sorry. He's just gonna have to be drafting somebody else and we trading him. Well, you see, with Gary, you can just say Heath is starting and then he gonna start. You can say Anthony Brown started and he gonna start. You know what I mean? You can say, hey, man, that was good by Donovan Wilson, but he not gonna get any snaps and he won't get any snaps. You can say Witten go come back and we go ramp up his reps as we see his health improve and Jarwin snaps go down. It's just gonna happen. So it's come down to Frank Sinatra. So it's like and then what we gonna do every year is we gonna be ready to fire a new coach because next year will be Christian Shaw. I can't stand Christian Shaw. He's an asshole. He's a puppet part two. He's a it's like, but what you have in the front office is Frank Sinatra. So what we really want is we want Jesus. That's what we want. We want somebody that's perfect. We want somebody that can literally deal with the politics and win at the same time. And a lot of times you ain't gonna get both.
Hey, I gotta read this comment real quick. My boy Michael, phenomenal comment, Michael. He says wasn't Lewis in for Jones? If he's your fourth corner, why would you put him in for your number one to replace your number one corner? Your number one. That makes sense.
He wasn't. They actually put Godwin in the corner when Jones went down, and they kept Jordan in the nickel. It's a good observation. And then what they start doing is they start kind of swapping Lewis to the corner, and they was putting Godwin sometimes on the bench when they had Lewis on the corner. So they was putting Godwin actually on the corner. But that's a good observation. But that's not quite how it happened when Jones and Brown went down. Because I keep a close eye on that, bro. Trust me. Every time they go in the game, I'm watching for who's starting on that nickel and that corner. And I can tell you exactly what series Lewis started. It was the 4th series. Yeah. And I was hoping that they started him because they was just tired of Brown. What actually happened is they not tired of Anthony Brown. He just had a hamstring,
They both went down.
He just had a little hamstring kind of tightness, so they got pulled. It's almost like, I'm being honest, you know what he looked like to me, West Coast? I'm being all the way honest, man. This looked like another game. We looked past our opponent to the next, bro. I think we looked past the Saints to Green Bay, and I think we looked past the Jets because we sat everybody, bro, and we start pulling everybody. It's almost like the division is more important than this game that we call meaningless, even though this game can end up being very significant, especially as we get to Week 17.
Yeah. And my last couple points on this What's Mine, something I thought of too before we get up out of here is also, if you bring in a D tackle, you got to remember you just invested a lot of money into Jalen Smith, a guy who had a huge injury coming into the NFL. It is your job to protect that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want Jalen Smith. You don't want Jalen Smith taking on guards and tackles, man. Like, he's gonna get hurt. Like, and then think about this. Now LVE, yeah, he has vertigo, but that vertigo is gonna turn into my leg about to go. You know what I'm saying? If he be taking on too many of these defensive tackles, this is the example I give, right? Look how Sean Lee's career has been without having a legitimate D tackle in the middle. You know what happens? He has a whole lot of tackles. He makes a few Pro Bowls, and his career is short. That's what happens. Because linebackers are not the same size as guards and tackles. It's not going to happen. Sean Lee always gets hurt, getting moved by guards and tackles. That's just real. So that's another thing. If you want to have your linebacker, everybody's asking what's going on with LVE and Jalen Smith. Well, they're taking on more guards and tackles than they ever have in their entire career. And they're not built like that. Like, we have coverage linebackers. Like, these guys aren't built like that. Your defensive line is built like that, or at least we thought it was. Last thing. I think if you, this was just a random thought I was having, man, but if you had a guy like Tuna in here, a coach in here, there would be some major changes right now in this roster. Like, you would have a guy like Jordan Lewis playing.
Yep.
I think he would be playing. I also think that Leo Collins would be at guard because Tuna wouldn't give a damn. Like, he wouldn't care. Like, there's too many situations where a team said we felt that we're going to do this way, and a player says, well, I don't want to do that, and then they let them do it. Like, the Dallas Cowboys actually thought about moving Leo Collins back to guard. They put it in the media. And Leo Collins came out and said, well, I don't want to do that. And guess what they did? He's back at tackle. Like, he's a great tackle, but he'd be probably the best guard in the NFL. That's more beneficial. Like, we need to start making decisions that are truly about the team. And honestly, not even about the team. Decisions that are about winning. Like, I don't care if the decision's about the team. Decisions that are best about winning. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the type of decisions, like, those are the type of hard decisions that these other organizations make. You know what I'm saying? It's decisions that are best about winning. Not even that are best about team. Like, the New Orleans Saints, they brought in a second quarterback and let him do all the running. Why? Because they knew they had to have a threat from the position. And guess what? Sean Payton didn't like it. I mean, Drew Brees didn't like it, but he dealt with it. he dealt. Hey, what are you gonna do? You're not the coach. Go in there, second, and take off running.
And I think another thing that we need too, man, is I do like the idea of Lincoln Riley, because we have to have somebody that come in here with a strong resume of their own. You can't somebody that's basically made by the Jones, then they go still dictate to you what they want, right? So if you was raised up like a Chris Richard, and you was raised up like a Kellen Moore, then you gonna be a puppet part 2 and part 3. But if you come from the outside, like, bro, look, man, I'm the one that made 2 walk-ons and a transfer Heisman candidates and overall draft choice. So if you saying you have doubts about your quarterback, who got a better resume than me right now? Like, for real, and that's honest. Who got a better resume than me right now? So it's like I have enough clout within myself to sell to you, Jerry and Steven, on what's the smartest decisions with the Cowboys. Not somebody that they raised up and so they get to tell you, Kellen Moore, this is what we're going to do with you. You get to come into their organization and say, hey, man, this is what's broke about your organization, and this is how I can fix it, but we're going to have to work together. And that's what Tuna was able to do with Jerry, because he was an outsider. You know, when you're an insider, I just don't see the cultural fit right now, because they take too much credit for your G and your development.
Not a coach. And to be honest with you, for all these folks, like y'all really got to get to know your team. All these folks that's saying, I want a coach that's going to fight, like, they're going to lose their job.
Yeah, man.
Like,
that's
they're
true.
going to lose their job. Like, you guys need to really identify who you work for. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be the greatest person in the world, but if that's not what they're looking for, then guess what? That's not what they're looking for. It doesn't matter if you could be really, really good. That's not what they're looking for. They're not looking for that fired up coach. Like, I have no problem with Lincoln Riley either. You want to know why? Because I'm going to save money on either the offensive coordinator or the head coach, because he does both. And to be honest with you, that's what most of these teams are doing. Like, why pay an offensive coordinator if you can just be the head coach and the OC?
Yeah.
It makes sense because, I mean, to be honest with you, you don't really see interaction between the head coach and your quarterback. You don't. And it doesn't make sense. Why? Because he's talking to Kellen Moore the entire game.
I mean, nobody really, honestly, Lincoln make the most sense by a million miles. Like, just think about it, bro. Like, you saw all the quarterbacks that he coached mechanically get way better, bro. Like, and this is a fact. Like, if anybody halfway follow OU, you saw Baker Mayfield mechanics change for the best. You saw who?
Murray.
Yeah, Murray mechanics, and then you go look at this new quarterback he's working with. When he was at Alabama, he was a one-read quarterback. Like, he really was. He was a one-read and run quarterback. Like, I was like, this guy shouldn't even be a 5th rounder. Now he potentially up for the Heisman, and he's actually going through his reads, and he's using all of his weapons, run and throws, legs and arm, in balance off of one off season. It's like, hold on, man. So like it's a whole lot of that concerns. That settles that. Another thing about people that people don't know about this OU offense is the OU offense is built off the run. People think because they putting a lot of yards in the air that they'll throw it. No, they are running team. They run the ball. They run a lot of screens, a lot of misdirection. I mean, so it's like and he has the temperament. Like you got, like West Coast said, you got to look at the temperament of the guy. Like if the guy come in all fiery, don't want that because Jerry don't want to share credit. Jerry don't want it. That's what. See, Jimmy was fiery. Jimmy was the man. If you
it was Jimmy who said, "How about them Cowboys?" Not Jerry Jones. Remember that?
Yeah. And
remember that it was Jimmy.
And they was a beautiful marriage. And see, that's the worst part. The worst part is when you a beautiful marriage that still get a divorce
and you still don't work.
Just like, bro, how that do? And it was all over ego and personality. So it's kind of like Frank Sinatra all over again. So when you looking for like somebody like I, at first, my younger mind that didn't really understand the politics of the Cowboys would say Harbaugh. Nope, Harbaugh wouldn't fit.
Heck no. Anybody
he wouldn't fit.
No.
Anybody that's a man's man, opinionated, go say what he think, let's go buck again. See, you got to sell Jerry and them into it.
That's why I don't think Chris Richard. That's why I don't believe that Chris Richard would be a candidate for the Dallas Cowboys. I just don't believe he would, because I still believe they and then also like this whole Tristan Hill thing backfired. So guess what? Now his DBs are getting the blame for something that shouldn't be happening. Like these DBs shouldn't be having to cover for 3 and 4 seconds. That's not bruh, after 3 seconds, I have done my job. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. These dudes are having to cover forever. So, and then just like someone said, the SHIT rolls downhill. You're absolutely right. Now you got his DBs making more tackles than anybody else on the field.
Yeah, and they average at that.
And think about this. The Cowboys don't listen. So they don't really listen to Chris Richard. Go ahead.
And Wendy said that I love what she said. And he don't need a penny. He coming in like not hungry, like Kellen Moore. That's a major pay increase if he got the head coaching job. You know what I mean? So like just looking at all the politics, I didn't mean to kind of steal your point. But yeah, like looking at all the politics, man, if we go ride out, we already, and this is the one thing that's good. They already set the benchmark for Jason Garrett, and they said this: if you don't get a Super Bowl with this team, you're out.
Yeah, I can't even really blame him. Though, because that defensive tackle has more to do with anything. Like, bro, you can coach all you want, you can fire and spit all you want, and guess what? They're gonna run right up the middle. Y'all gonna be straight pissed. Because guess what? You're gonna tell me this team was most on fire. I'm gonna tell you when. January 7th. You know when that was? We played the damn Rams. We had just beat the Seattle Seahawks, the number 1 rushing team in the NFL. Wasn't the Dallas Cowboys, it was the Seattle Seahawks. And you know what the Rams did? Ran it up the middle. So you're not going to tell me that that's not going to change. The best team I've seen in a long time was that team that beat the Seattle Seahawks. And guess what? That team lost to a team that ran right up the middle on them. Yep. And we did not fix that problem. And now you guys are just magically going to think that firing Jason Garrett is going to hide the fact that we have a middle problem. Okay, so we fired Jason Garrett, right? He's gone. Because everybody wants to fire Jason Garrett, okay?
Yeah, everybody.
What is the next step? Because that doesn't stop 3rd and 11 runs. Like, the 3rd and 11, was that Jason Garrett? Like, it's funny that we would think that, it's funny that we'll give a first-year offensive coordinator, this is his 6th game ever coaching, you'll give him a pass and put that on a guy who's been coaching 11 years. I think that's more of that sounds more of a problem that guy who's only been coaching 6 games would do. Like Kellen Moore just doesn't get. It's funny because we give Kellen Moore the pass of his lifetime. You want to know what we say? Oh, well, it's his first year. Well, what are you talking about? It's gonna be the last for somebody else.
Man, look, before we check out of here, man, I want to bring up something because Romo made a comment. And I think a lot of people taking it a lot of different ways.
I was going to do a video on that too. Go ahead, go. They're really taking it out of context.
It's a lot of stuff. Because Romo is an ultimate politician. He's not going to burn bridges, right? So he wasn't stepping on Jason Garrett like most people would think he was. What he was doing was giving a real analysis of the resemblance of the offense he was watching. And he said that this has Jason Garrett fingerprints on it from 2007 to 2009. Now, some people would take that as a bad thing, but see, I always think about
what was our record in 2007?
I mean, we was 13-3, and then we was like 9-7, and then we was like 10-6. So he obviously wasn't saying that was bad years, right? So just I'm giving everybody the context of what he was saying, but also look at what Jason Garrett and Moore was facing, right? And why you would want to water down your offense. Now, the watering down the Saints, I can't justify that. I cannot. But looking at this game, you got 2 tackles out. You got Amari, who just went out in the first series. You got Cobb out. You got Gallup dropping balls, right? You got Devin Smith inactive. Who's your weapons? Like, right. So you go out there, West Coast, are you telling me that Jason Garrett should have ran the same offense with Tavon and Wilson as he would have ran with Cobb and Gallup and Cooper together?
And think about this, man. The clock management, when you're getting ran on, your offense is where? Sitting on the sidelines. Like, I'm going to tell you guys right now, there's 2 things you can do to fix this season. And they all include spending money. Because we're at the point of the season where we can't fix this problem without spending some money. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
The time to fix problems for free was in the off season.
That's right.
You can't even change the culture now because the culture's already set. You can't change the culture in the middle of the season. It does not work that way.
Yeah.
The only 2 things you can do right now to save this season, I'm going to tell you guys. And it's one for each. One on your offense and one on your defense. On offense, the only thing you can do to make your offense play better, I'm going to tell you what, pay your quarterback. You pay your quarterback, you're going to then get 100% of your quarterback. And then on 3rd and 2, when I'm screaming, like I was begging, Lord, I was begging on that damn touchdown, just run the ball. Just run it, Dak. Just run it, Dak. Please just run it, right? And then they go in a shotgun for me. Well, it's 2 things. I'm about to add that because, man, we should have talked about that too. Because some of this play calling made no sense. The 3rd and 11 made no sense. The naked bootleg to Dak Prescott on 3rd and 11 on the other side with Zeke as your lead blocker, that made no sense. When you had
that was crazy.
That was retarded. And then also, I'm gonna tell you the dumbest play of the night. A 2-point conversion starts on the 2-yard line, right? So do you know that if you put your quarterback in shot form formation, he is now standing on the 5-yard line, possibly even the 6. So now you got to go 6 yards to score 2 points versus just putting him in I formation where he only got to go 2 yards. Now, Dak is bigger than Zeke. And y'all say Zeke big. Dak is bigger than Zeke. I think Dak could have hiked the ball, stood up, and jumped over the offensive line. And probably could have got 2 points. All he has to do is hold on to the ball. As long as the ball don't come out, it's 2 points. Why would you make your quarterback go 6 yards for 2 points when he can just go 2 yards for 2 points? That is dumb. That is phenomenally dumb.
Yeah. Like, and see, some people was like, they shouldn't have went for the 4th and 2 before in the first half. I like the aggression. I hated the play call.
Better play
I hate it. I mean, I love the aggression. I just hated the play call. It was like, if you go for it, you go for it with that. And what was the second thing? You said the first thing. You say pay Dak.
And don't forget, on that second down, on the 2-point conversion, we motioned Zeke out the backfield. So you know what we told the offense? We're 100% throwing the ball.
Yeah. So now and then like now it's kind of like, who do you blame? Is it Kellen Moore? Is it Jason Garrett? Is it a combination of both? Because that offensive play calling did not show genius. And
that's
the
why
more
I
and
want
more,
you to pay Dak, because then if you pay Dak, he'll get it and he'll be like, he'll just Tony Romo in and be like, man, I'm not hearing that. We about to run Y-Zag, such. But Dak's not gonna do that trying to get a contract.
Nope. He gonna run their plays.
He's gonna run that dumb play just like he did when Amari Cooper came up to him and says, bro, they're sitting on the hitch. You know
and he said, just do it.
Just do it. And I don't blame him. He's trying. Dak, he ain't paid either. Dak's not gonna change the play and throw do the wrong thing, and guess what? They're gonna for sure blame Dak if it goes wrong.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Oh yeah, and he knows that. And see, let me slow down on what you just said. That Philly game, when Cooper had to talk him into that audible to that deep ball because they were sitting on those routes all day.
The Philly at home game. When we beat
That show you what politics will do to you. Because instead of talking about the game, they was having an argument about politics.
And this is in the huddle. Give you a little.
This is in the huddle.
This is in the huddle.
Just do what they say. Hold on. Not West Coast. What?
Go ahead.
Not was I right or not? Not does this make sense or not? Is this smart or not? What the fight was?
Yeah.
Bro, let me. It basically like, look here, youngster. Look here, newbie. You new to this. Trust me. Just do what they say. Did you just watch what happened to Dez? Just do what they say. It was an argument about politics, and just thank God Dak came to himself and said, you know what? Let me just go with it. But you didn't never talk about the second thing you said that'll fix this team.
Okay, so the first thing is pay your quarterback, because I think if you pay your quarterback, that is going to open up a whole nother Pandora's box on what he is, because I think Dak will go back to 2016 where he was more like, I just feel like he'll play more loose, and then the third down, running the ball with Dak on third down has to be a freaking option. Like, if not, why the heck did you get a mobile quarterback if you're not going to use him? The second thing on defense that we think we need to do is get a D tackle, man. You need a fat daddy, need D tackle, and it needs to be a D tackle. A run stopper, like someone who is known, someone who knows that hey bro, I'm just here to stop the run.
Yeah, I'm here to push the pocket.
Like that's all I'm gonna do. If
y'all not going to the second level with me.
Yeah, if I get a sack, praise God. But they brought me here. They said you had a run stopping problem. That's my job.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
Yeah, and then Gard's been going to the second level. That's gonna stop today.
That's why a coach can. That's why man, you were absolutely so freaking correct. That's why a opponent coach can look at our team and be like, "Oh, I guarantee I'm gonna beat them." Because if they don't get a D tackle this week, I know for sure what I'm about to do all game, and I'm not gonna do what these other teams do. Start trying to throw it in the fourth. We just gonna keep on running it.
Yeah, and I think he meant that too, man. I think he looked at Dallas and said, y'all so dysfunctional. Oh, we gonna win that game. And then it's not even just a dysfunction. It's just like what the Rams looked at. They saw that Woods we was just depleted at the DT. Yep. So a heavy pass team went into the playoffs and said, we finna run it down their neck.
Yep.
And it's like, you saying it, I'm saying it, nobody else saying it. Nobody else saying it. They hinting at it. Do you think we need a DT, Jerry? Steven, do you think we need one? But they not saying, hold on. Ross out. Woods playing hurt. Crawford playing hurt. And Tristan Hill is inactive. Covington is overused and cannot stand up to Rod Marinelli's way of using him all game.
Nope.
He need help. What are you going to do about that, Steven? No, they not asking questions like that. They asking it like, do you think y'all might be interested possibly in the DT, Steven?
It's going to get better. That's what he's thinking. It'll get better.
Yeah, and he thinking it's going to get better. And see, and that's why he said it took an act of Congress for them to give up a one for Cooper. But what saved the season last year? What saved?
Yeah, I want to make a statement that I would say offline, the Boss Cowboy, but I'm going to say it online. It almost feels like, I don't want to lose to this Philadelphia game, but I almost feel like more stuff will come by.
True. No, you're right.
I'm just saying, bro. If we don't lose that game before that.
You're right, though, bro. And I know you're not saying that.
You get where I'm coming from.
You thinking big picture. Yeah, you thinking big picture. It was just like when we lost to the Titans last year.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. If we don't lose to the Titans, we probably don't get Amari Cooper.
No, I'm sorry. We had Cooper with the Titans. It was the game before. It was the game before we lost, and it was like, who was the game before that? I can't remember. But we lost, and it was like, we got to do something about this. There's no explosion.
Washington?
I think it was Washington.
Yep, because that's when Jerry said. That's when Jerry said, made the infamous comment. He says Dak is our quarterback, and he will get extended.
Yeah. So we lost to Washington. And we had no explosion, and yet still Dak had a really, really good game. It just wasn't enough on the outside for him to really just take a part of a Redskins with no offense. So that's when they got desperate. So what West Coast is saying is he is not saying he want to lose to Philly. He's saying if a loss to Philly will help us get a DT and then win out, I'll take it. That's what he's saying.
Because
You
we're
know what
not
I
going
mean?
to get far.
To
You're
me,
not going
that's
to beat
what
New
gives us
England.
our best
You're not
chance.
going to beat Chicago like that. You're not going to beat Philly twice like that. And then think about this. We're playing playoff teams that can run the ball. Minnesota has run over 200 yards twice. And they have Dalvin Cook, and they have the number one running back prospect that we saw in the draft, and Madison. Like, Minnesota's 4-1, like 4-2 something right now. And you still gonna have to play. And think about this, guys. We cannot have the exact same record as the Saints or Green Bay. Or guess what happens? We're gonna have to go there to play. That's what happens when you lose the playoff teams in the same conference as you. Now we actually have to technically have a game. We have to have a better record than the Saints and Green Bay. Or you know what's going to happen? Come second round, because the division game, when you win your division, you get that first home game. But guess what? That very next week is either going to be in Green Bay or in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? Both them teams are going to look and say, hey, we're just going to do what we did a couple weeks ago. Why? Because they got the same dudes. Yeah, they're healthy, but, bruh, all we need is one of them to do is to go down and the whole game changes.
Yeah. So, just so ring the alarm, everybody. It's up to y'all. It's up to us. We gonna keep putting it out there. Hopefully, the message gets out there that we really need a DT, like for real. I think Williams will be somebody that I'll be open to give away a second rounder for right now. Right now. I mean, yeah, that's a high pick, yes, but we trying to rescue this season, man.
Season is worth that.
I mean, like they have 27 people on a 1-year contract. We never go see this team again, y'all.
Exactly. Remember, Boss Cowboy, remember we were saying that? We were saying that, that's what we were saying about jerseys. Remember, I was like, I don't know. If I was y'all, I would buy custom jerseys. Why? Because with the amount of 1-year deals on this team is going to be totally different next year.
It's going to be totally different. So it's
27 out of 53 are on 1-year deals.
And
how many of those guys going to sign?
And Philly, one little old fucking Super Bowl, that little one ugly Super Bowl was, guess what? Because they went all in that year. They went all in on free agents too. It wasn't, because we think we go bend it all always going cheap way building through the draft. But every now and then you got to make that investment. They went and got at the last minute Jay Ajayi coming from Miami. And they had Blunt, who was a free agent. Yep. They had Jeffries, who was a free agent. Yep. They acquired Foles, who was a free agent. Who was the key people that won that Super Bowl?
Foles,
those
Jeffries,
four.
And it's funny because think about this. People, that's why I don't even give Carson Wentz any credit, because the people that helped Carson Wentz go, win those 11 games, they weren't even factors in the playoffs. Like, it was Jay Ajayi, Jeffries, and Blunt. And
Foles.
Because that's what Foles was throwing the ball. Foles wasn't throwing the ball to Ertz the way Wentz throws the ball to Ertz. Wentz throws the ball to Ertz 19 times in a game. 19. Yeah. That's why I was all for
super dig and dunk to Ertz.
Yeah, that's why. Remember, LVE got 13 tackles just from tackling Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
Said Foles is going to throw that ball to his wide receivers.
That's right. That's a fact.
Like, he gonna throw. That's why Jeffries loved. That's why That's why I started hearing. Hold on, let me say this. That I couldn't even believe, because I'm like, why are people saying that Carson Wentz is a bad teammate? You want to know why? Because he wasn't really cutting for them dudes. Them dudes, honestly, and I learned this from a Philadelphia fan. My boy, he does shows he's just not nearly as, as what we do. But he's a real diehard Philly fan, though. But he said it man, they don't really cut for Wentz like that. That's why they gave him that contract to try to. They had to get Foles out of here. They had to. They had to. Because too much of the team was loyal to Nick Foles, and it made sense. He's the one that won you the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and he was actually quarterbacking. He was the one throwing downfield. Like, there's a lot of people don't really honestly know football. I'm just gonna be honest, man, because you cannot watch Wentz and don't say that he's super. He's super with everything. Everything that y'all say about Dak is what he is. Super
right now.
Dink and dunk, all of that. That's who he is. Now, he's courageous. He stayed in that pocket like a G. Like, you got to give Wentz his credit. That whole pocket will fully collapse on him, and he'll be just like it'll be tiny in that pocket. He'll be in there like, as long as I got a chance, I'm gonna stay right here. He's courageous, but he's super dink and dunk and all that kind of stuff. He don't throw downfield. He'll take a couple of shots every game, but he wasn't like Foles. Foles was going at those receivers.
Foles gonna push that ball, man.
He was pushing that ball. So. But just going back to what we said, man, I totally agree with your analysis. Totally agree. Pay Dak. I'm going to add to it. Pay Cooper. pay Dak, pay a DT, pay Cooper because it help your accounting now. Because I think if Cooper paid, I think he played through that quad. I really do. I really do. I think that was one of those y'all got me messed up, man. Y'all want me to go out here and play hurt, and y'all ain't paid me. I think that was a statement.
Because, boss, when does a person start thinking about the business ramifications? It's like I have my car right here, right? I own my own business. Guess what? I have a lot of free time. I ain't gonna say that because my wife's gonna say you can do more. But I have, when you own your business, you know what you do? You have time where you work every single day for 17 days straight, and then you have a time where you don't work for 3 days, 4 days. You know what I'm saying? So it feels like you got all this free time. But guess what? If I go use my new car for Uber, you know what they're going to do? They're going to raise my insurance. Why, Mr. Insurance Man? Why are you going to raise my insurance if I start using my car for Uber? Why is that, Mr. Insurance Man?
Because you increase your driving and you increase the risk of a wreck.
So you're saying just because of the risk, I have to pay more?
Yep. What? Yeah. And Cooper, man, that to me, that was like, say, y'all not finna go out here and guinea pig me.
Thank you.
I'm over here. Yeah, y'all crashed. I'm over here playing with blood coming out my ankle for this W last week.
Yep.
I mean, West Coast showed the video with Cooper on his knees in pain. See, they ain't show that on the cameras. They ain't show that on the sideline. It took West Coast being right there at the right time and say, what in the world is he doing? And you seen him on his knees like, bruh, I'm hurt. Then he get up and he walk off like, damn,
He walked off like, don't touch me, walk off.
Yeah, like, bruh. Now, you want me to keep doing that without my future guaranteed? How about a big hell no? And I'm going to give you a nice little protest on the Jets game. I'm going to come out there in the first series per my agent, and I'm going to walk off and say, I can't do it. And I'm going to fold my arms. That's what he did too. He's sitting on the sideline like this. He's sitting on the sideline like, nope.
Yeah, because, bro, because I got to ask you, right, as your agent, I got to protect you from you. Like, I got to protect you from you. Bro, I can't, if I'm Cooper's agent, you're Cooper, bro, boss, look, I know you want to go out there and play for these guys. I know this is your team. But guess what? My job is to protect you. Coop, if you hurt yourself, look at how the Cowboys have done the players who can play. Did they want to pay Zeke? No. Did they want to play D-Law? No. Did they pay Dak Prescott? No. So why would they pay you hurt? See, if the Cowboys did their business better, maybe Coop would go out there and play hurt. But
no, it's no doubt.
Everything
it's
is
no
saying,
doubt, bro. It's nothing guaranteed. If
you get hurt, you're not getting paid because the players who ain't hurt ain't getting paid.
Yeah, it's nothing guaranteed in his future right now. So why you go keep taking on these high risks? And that's just a fact. Like,
that's a huge risk, man.
Courtney asked, can you blame him? No. This is why it's a very big deal what we said early in the show. Dak is the very first quarterback that I know in history that's playing for his contract during the final year of his contract.
Wow. Yep.
You would not find another quarterback in history that was in the final year with his type of accolades in his first 3 years that's still playing for money right now.
Even Washington
tagged
Kirk Cousins twice.
Right now.
Twice. They just franchised him twice. Why? Because Washington Washington had no faith in Kirk Cousins, and they still franchise tagged him 2 times in a row. $56 million. Dak getting $700,000, $800. No, it's up to about $1 million. We always say 7, but it's really like $1.5 million.
And when they said they got to clean up the payroll, this should have been taken care of. Absolutely. When did Julio get his money? The week before the season started. All the other 31 teams know better than to have their best players going into the season with money as a distraction. Because see, we don't even understand that pressure. None of us understand that pressure and will never understand it in our lives. We will never understand how week to week can literally cost you millions. And that's what Jerry is asking of Coop, Amari, and Dak. So, yeah, you're right. I just wanted to add one more to it. You got to pay Cooper too. You got,
Hey,
and
I didn't
this is
think
the
about
worst part about it, West Coast.
God, I didn't even think about
Cooper
that.
saved you on cap this year. You save money if you sign Cooper right now. You save money. And matter of fact, I guarantee it free up money for you to be able to get a DT without even thought. Like, DT Smitty. We can get what we want.
Yeah, hey,
Like,
I want to read this comment, then I'm gonna throw a question your way. Courtney says, I'm gonna be real with you, man. He says, if I was them, I would sit. He says they don't even care about you. It took Zeke and Emmett to do what they had to do to get paid. Like, it's crazy, man. Why should us fans care about winning when when Jerry and Steven doesn't? And to be honest with you, man, like, to be honest with you, I'm gonna keep it real with you, Courtney. I'm gonna ask you this question, Courtney. This offseason, what do you think was most important to the Dallas Cowboys? Finances or making sure this team was correct? I almost cried on air because I was frustrated, and I was saying, you have 31 other teams right now that are focusing on winning a game and being productive in a season. And we spent our entire offseason trying to decide if we were going to pay players. Stephen Jones even said it out of his mouth. I mean, Jerry Jones even said it out of his own mouth. We like to do our contracts at training camp because the players are here. Where where all the other teams do? They do their contracts before training camp. Why? Because when training camp comes, I don't want you talking about money. I don't want you talking about none of that. I want you talking about football.
right.
Why you think companies, when they pay you, the law is they either got to pay you either before or on the day that says you're going to get paid. You want to know why? Because if have you ever been to a job that paid you late or didn't pay you? You at work and you supposed to be selling phones and you just sitting on the back like, what up, man? What's up? Hey, man, you don't want to go get this 5-liner? Nah, man. Hell, what you mean this 5-liner, man? What about that $500 they supposed to owe me? Your whole attitude is ridiculous. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to call calling Dak Jesus Christos, because I'm going to be honest with you, from one black man to a black man, he handled this situation way better than I would have. I would have been lost my cool. Like, I'm going to keep it real with you, bruh. I'm just thinking about this, how they crucify him now. If y'all don't think Dak deserves his money now, what about 2 weeks ago when they were saying he was an MVP candidate? If it don't get no better than that, Dak, it ain't never going to get better than this, bro. Like, you're literally going to you're going to be the first quarterback to have to physically win a Super Bowl to get an extension. Like, no team, no contract is enumerated off of making the playoffs. I know people be saying, "Oh, Dak got to win a Super Bowl." Bro, no quarterback has been paid because they won a Super Bowl. Nobody has.
Nobody.
Tony Romo, I love Tony. Tony Romo wasn't getting paid for no Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The headline said that it was a leap of faith. They had faith in their quarter. What has Matt Ryan won? What has Jimmy G won? What has Kirk Cousins won? What has these guys won?
Most of the people you just named didn't even play in a playoff game.
I mean, what have these guys won? That's why I became saying, like, why does Jimmy G have a standard? Why does Dak have a standard that all these other guys don't have a standard? Like, Carson Wentz is not playing good football. That's why his coach is saying they guarantee him to win. And my kids to know anything that I ain't taught them. How do I expect Dak to just go out here and just be 100% gun-ho? And they're not 100% gun-ho with you. There's nothing you can tell Dak Prescott to say that this team 100% believes in you. You want to know why? Because my good friend Roy Williams said that contracts are about appreciation.
And respect.
And respect. So when they don't give you, what does that say? They don't appreciate you and they don't respect you, but they will use you.
Yep.
That's what it says.
That's what it says. And it's super sad, man. I
feel sorry for this young man. I feel sorry for him.
And I feel sorry for Cooper. Like, it's like, I can't, like, I bet money that Dak was going to get paid because I was betting on history. When you see all these players before him that's not even close to his resume paid
and playing bad right now. The only one that's playing good is Jimmy G. Kirk Cousins just cussed out his.
He's not playing good, to be honest. His defense.
Yeah, his defense is playing stupid. I'm going to be real with y'all. Tom Brady's not playing good. Like, let's just be real. Like it's rough on quarterbacks right now. Tom Brady's
rough on quarterbacks right now. See, you said it, boy. See, man, I do like talking football with you. Hey,
Tom Brady ain't even playing good right now. Look at Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan 1-5. What they 1-5 right now? $32 million quarterback, 1-5. Dak Prescott. Oh. How much did Goff? Goff got $112 million. Oh, what are they? 2-4. Oh. 3-3. 3-3. Oh yeah, because they lost yesterday. Carson Wentz not playing good. Not playing good. He was injured when he got paid.
3-3.
3-3. What? Why does Dak have to be? I don't get it.
And Dak's still number 1 QBR in the league right now.
I don't get it. Like
think about it. He just played without Amari, without Cobb, without Devin Smith,
with all the weapons you brought in him for the use.
And still put up 270, and we still mad at him.
Yeah.
Hey, but this is the worst part about the offseason to me, West Coast. The worst part was the insulting of your athletes. So it's one thing to not get their deal done in time. We will never play our market contract.
I would have actually been traded right then. There's 2 things that I would have did. I would have actually been traded.
I believe you would have, West Coast.
Because you know me, I burn bridges.
West Coast a little bit. I'm telling y'all right now. West Coast just on his feelings would have been like, what?
I'm out.
Yep. That's a fact. My boy West Coast gonna stand on principle. That is for sure. I've been rocking with him behind the scenes. I see it all day, all night. Just on principle, you can't disrespect me like that, man.
Nope, I'm out.
You in the public, bro, telling the fans, you telling people that support, I'm gonna get over on every one of them. I'm gonna
no matter how good you
never has been done.
No matter how good you are, you can be the best player in the NFL, and I will never make you the highest play position, bruh. If I was Dak Zeke, I would have been like, well, bro, why am I even asking for a contract? Like I'm out. Yeah. Like just release me.
And
like if I was Joe Mooney, release me.
Like that, if you'd have just said it like that, guess what? You would have got paid the next week. And see, people look, we've spent a lot of time on this. We're not making this up. Y'all should have spent more time with us in this offseason. But I'm gonna tell y'all, because we spend time on everything, drafts, trades, all of that. This is the big deal. That's also a very obvious pattern. The Cowboys don't do business unless you play hardball. That's why Zeke was right to hold out. Like everybody, like he should have went to no Cowboy. He'll be sitting right there with Zeke and Dak right now. I mean,
and he really wouldn't be getting paid right now. And think about this, Zeke really wouldn't. If Zeke wouldn't have held out, and this season still happens the way it is, because I think it still happens the way it is, 3-3, Zeke does not get $90 million. Like to be honest with you, when it's all said and done, Zeke actually did it right. Because to be honest with you, like he's really gonna be the only one. Like I'm just being real. Like they barely talk about paying Dak. And if they asked Tony Romo this question yesterday, they said, Tony Romo, do you think that Dak made the right move as far as waiting for his money? And what Tony Romo basically said is, he's betting on a lot. He's betting on the fact that, if they win a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's funny because when he said that, like the other commentators kind of like looked at Tony like, bruh, are you serious? The Cowboys ain't winning no Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, that's how other teams view us, but I'm going to be honest with you. I hear Tony Romo, but to say that you have to this is probably one of the one times in my life I disagree with Tony. Because it's like, Tony, no, I love you. You've gained a little weight. That's why that button wouldn't close. But I'm going to give Dak a 5-year to 6-year contract. It's going to be more than just for one Super Bowl. Like, I'm paying him for 5 years of pretty decent production. Like, you don't give a person one contract off of one game, because if that's the case, Dak would have got paid off of the damn Giants game. Dak has already did this before. Like, Zeke didn't play in the Giants game when he did that crazy stuff then. Dak has already shown you that he can win big games. So I don't see what else there is to prove. And I'm going to be honest with you, even after he wins the Super Bowl, because I still believe we're going to do it this year. You know what they're going to say? Well, he wouldn't have won it without Kellen Moore's play calling.
Yeah.
If you take Kellen Moore off that team, do they score 30 points?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, let's franchise tag him and see what he do next year. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I see people got mad at me when I said Dak should have before the Giants game. Dak should have did exactly what Julio Jones said. He said that week. He said the week before the season started. He said, "I'm ready to play, but I'm not saying I'm gonna play."
Yep.
And guess
he did
what?
It 2 years in a row too. He did it 2 years in a row too, because he did it last year too.
And he got paid when, West Coast?
He got paid like that Friday, if I'm not mistaken.
The next day.
Yeah.
The next day he got paid. He made his statement. He got paid the next day. See all this friendly stuff. That stuff don't get you paid with Jerry, man. I'm telling you, it's like you got to do what Tank did. Use your shoulder, hold them hostage. You got to say, look, I'm not playing. I come practice, but I'm not doing any team drills. I do 7-on-7. Now, if you want to use your season as hostage against me, Jerry, I'm down for it. See, and that's what shows you that Seattle was wise, because you know what Seattle did? They say, you serious about your commitment to preparation? Because see, we talked to Ronnie Braxton, the super trainer, the dude who trained all these guys. See, West Coast, we spend our time. We talk to trainers, and this is what trainers say who get these guys ready for the season.
These are guys they're paying for. These are not guys the Cowboys are paying for.
Yeah,
any trainer that we
thousands for these guys.
Any trainers that we talk to, these are trainers that players are paying for. Like we had a guy on here who he told us players pay him $100,000 for them to train him. This is all they do. These are their personal training.
They do. Yeah,
they don't work for the Cowboys, so they're going to tell us the 100% truth.
This is what he said. Your season is made in the off season.
Yep.
So when Russell Wilson said, "Look, pay me by April 15th, or don't have no contract that talks with me," he was dead serious, because he was serious about his preparation for the season. And it showed you the massive ball drop that we just did when we taking all these guys deep into the season at this point.
Hey, boss, boss, also, a month before, it was like a month. It was like 2 days, about 2 weeks before training camp started. What defensive player did he say was going to have a breakout season this year? It's the defensive line, obviously.
Did we say it?
No, that our boy Brian Tuck said he was going to have a breakout season this year.
Oh, he said Taco.
There you go. All I had to do was give him the name of the guy, and think about this: Brian Tucker, the guy who trained Taco, the guy Taco paid to train him to make him a better pro, said on my show, on the Boss Cowboy show.
It was off the record, though.
And it was off the record because we weren't recording. But hey, it don't matter.
We was just kumbaya, still talking ball after the show.
He says, "I'm gonna tell you right now, the person who's gonna have the biggest breakout this year is gonna be Taco."
That's what he said.
And
it was showing.
Yep.
And it was showing too. So it's look, y'all. This is what we just got to get used to as Cowboy fans as of now. Right now, our players got to play through dysfunction. We got to support them through that too, straight up, because that's what's happening. They're playing and they're fighting through dysfunction. Okay, and so while they fight through dysfunction, we need to be intelligent, we need to be smart, and we need to be on the right side of history.
Yep,
that's what we need to do. Don't fall for this media clickbait bull crap about Dak, money, firing Jason Garrett, because even though firing Jason Garrett is what most of the fans want, what we have to think about is this the best time. You want him fired going in the Philly game? No. Are you serious?
No. And you're still number one in the division. That's why I say, man.
And we're not saying we just all gung ho about Jason Garrett. It's just the timing. Because like when you fire your coach, that's almost like saying your season is over.
In the NFL, it is, because it's never happened.
Yeah,
there's only been one time, and that was when but he actually started from the beginning of the season, and it wasn't because he got fired. It was because the coach was sick with cancer, and they rallied around, and Coach Pagano and the coach. So y'all remember that? That's the only time an assistant coach came in and motivated a team and got them to anywhere close to the playoffs, and that has to do with cancer and a whole bunch of other stuff. But on some just regular firing folks,
dogs and sick, and it got to be something like that.
Yeah, like that type of stuff doesn't happen.
Ain't gonna come in and give a great speech and turn this around.
Yeah, because you got to remember, you're not dealing with kids. You're dealing with adults.
Yeah, they already know the business.
Yeah, and some of these guys, like I've talked to guys right now on this team that know they're not going to be back next year. I'm not going to say who it is, but I've talked to several, like 3 guys that have flat out told me I'm not going to be back next year. And they're still on this team right now.
Yeah.
Right now. Because they understand the politics of everything that's working in our...
Yeah,
and they're like, yeah, I already know I'm not going to be back next year.
Yeah, they looking to get out. They literally looking to get out. So, yeah, it's one of those things to where the message right now for people that saying fire Jason Garrett right now, that's just emotion. Don't co-sign that. Don't, like, even though there are better coaches out there, I would want Lincoln Riley over him, but I don't want him to lose next week. Because, see, this is why, listen, because they already set the standard for him to be terminated. If he don't get a Super Bowl, he's gone.
He's gone anyway, so it's like...
So why would you want to take the season for him to be? Because now you don't brought the whole standard way down, and the standard already high for him anyway.
And boss, you're right. You want to know why? Because if you fire Jason Garrett, you can't go to some random coach. You can't even, if you put it like this, I'm gonna tell you right. If you fire Jason Garrett today, you could not bring in Lincoln Riley and say, hey, you have to get us a Super Bowl. How could you give that expectation on a guy who's coming into the NFL, never even coached in the NFL? And also, I'm going to be honest with you, the greatest college coach to ever coach, Nick Saban, go Google how he did in Miami. There is a huge leap from going to the NFL, from going to college and the NFL. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, Arizona, the whole Keith Kingsbury thing, how is that working? You know what I'm saying? So don't just assume that, because you got to remember, in college, you can practice and you can say and do a whole lot of stuff you can't do in the NFL. Like, for instance, a lot of people don't know that for the entire NFL season, you only have 15 padded practices. 15. That means you can practice in pads 1 time a week. 1. You know what I'm saying? Once you get to 15, it's done. So this is what I'm saying. Anybody out there who is saying fire Jason Garrett, why don't you just say what's really happening is my season is over? But remember, you're doing that while you're still number 1 in the division. I just think it's easier. I think it's lazy. I just flat out think it's lazy because people are lazy. They're not going to watch film. You're not going to get on. You're not going to go to NFL.com and you're not going to watch the film from yesterday. You're not going to record. You don't even got to play the NFL.com. You can just record the game. Like before I got coach's film, I would just record the game on my DVR and just watch it a gang of times. People aren't going to do that. You know what they're going to do? They're going to get on here, they're going to listen to their favorite blogger, and they're going to form an opinion. That's what you're going to do. So when we tell you guys fire Jason Garrett, when we say that and it makes no sense, you'll just log off the show and go listen to another guy that'll support you on that. No, get out there. Fire him. Want to know why? Because they can't say anything behind that. Any blogger that's out there promoting fire Jason Garrett don't know how to talk about what's wrong with the defensive line. Don't know how to talk about what's going on with both your tackles being out. They don't know how to talk about your wide receiver making $14 million not even playing. They're not talking about your second round draft pick that was supposed to save your season. Oh yeah, he didn't even have on shoulder pads and helmets. Like that's what I'm saying. That's the type of stuff that I'm saying. Like. You listen to Boss Cowboy, you listen to West Coast because we understand that we stay away from, my boy Boss said a long time, we stay away from low-hanging fruit. Yeah, fire Jason Garrett. But guess what? Do you still want to win this season? I think I have more people that want to see Jason Garrett fired more than they want to see us succeed. And that is a problem.
No. And I'm not on that.
Hell no, we still got 10 games.
We spent too much time admitting to the dysfunction that's currently within our own organization. But I think we also made a good, fair case that some of the dysfunction is out of his control and will be out of Chris Richard's control as well. And that's, we look, there's a reason why Anthony Brown is still starting, and that don't have nothing to do with Jason Garrett.
Yep. Nothing.
The reason why
Nothing.
He start, that has to do with more so one of your bosses is saying they want to see these guys on the field. If you don't think the world works like that, all you got to go do is go look at the Redskins right now and go look at what happened to a coach who didn't believe in the guy that the bosses believed in. Where is he right now?
Yeah. Pedro says it seems like the players might be quitting on him. I'm going to tell y'all this. Hey, stop the quitting on. Because first off, you don't play for the Cowboys, so you don't know if your determination of someone quitting on him is us losing. That's a dumb thought. Want to know why? Because the last 3 games that we lost with our offense on the field trying to win the game. So how did we quit on him in the Saints game? We didn't quit on this, Jason. We didn't quit. We was fighting. We were down 28-6 in the
I see what they're saying from that standpoint, but see, I think you got to look at it from a well-rounded view. So it's like what I said about. Look, I'm speaking as a former corner, right, and as a former athlete. I tell you this: if I see that one of my guys should be starting there to help us win, but politics is keeping from that happening,
that's gonna make you feel some type of way.
Anybody that causes that to happen, whether it's Jason Garrett, whether it's Chris Richard. That's why I'm telling everybody, look about 2 steps ahead. It's not just Jason Garrett.
That's why letting go Taco was such a big problem.
And that's why I'm for Lincoln Riley, just not right now.
Yeah. Hey, boss, and think about this. That's why releasing Taco was such a big problem, too, because everybody saw how hard he was working and how he was improving. And you released him for nothing and replaced him with a guy who's not even nearly as good as him.
Right.
That's why there's a problem. And that's why they don't like, I'm going to be honest with you, that's why they don't like Hill. That's, in my opinion, that's why I said I don't even think it's Hill's fault.
Yeah, and that's why listen to us for the bigger picture, because then I'm telling y'all, you're going to want to fire Jason Garrett now. You're going to want to then fire Chris Richards next week, because it's going to be the same result. It's like what this organization need more than anything is a coach that can come in here with credibility and a skill to debate back to Jerry and Steven. Right now, all the guys that they lifted up and raised up don't have the political muscle to push back. Yeah. That's why I almost assure you Jason Garrett is going to be way better when he leave and he have real autonomy where he don't got to. See, we used to say this in corporate America when I worked with a corporate company. It's always bad when your boss has always got to taste the soup before it's served. It's always bad because it's like they don't give you the autonomy to say, hey, this soup is ready. Let's serve it while it's hot. Yep. By the time everybody tastes it, now it's cold and you done missed the market. That's what I call it. I call it missing the market. We missed a market opportunity because everybody had to sample my damn idea. Instead of trusting me that, hey, look, man, I got experience. I've been doing this. I've been executing at a high level. Give me the resources so I can go hit the market and get it now. Yeah. But no. Let's test it. Let's taste it. That's what's happening with Jason Garrett. That's what's happening with him. He was fighting for Dak. It's on camera. Yeah. It's out there. It's out. It's public knowledge.
And y'all need to give him credit for that. Y'all need to give him credit for that because he saw something in Dak. He got up and
said, "This is the manifestation of Dak Prescott."
Yep. He demonstrated it.
He demonstrated. Yep. He said, and Jerry the whole time like this, leaning back.
Jerry didn't. And I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna keep it real with you. That moment alone made me change my opinion of Jason Garrett.
Yeah, that changed me too because I saw firsthand this is the politics he dealing with. Yep. He over here he had to sell a backup quarterback this hard. Damn.
And Jerry Jones flat out asked him, like, what is he going to do for us?
Jerry, did you play quarterback or something?
Hey, you remember what Jerry Jones asked him? Jerry Jones is like, well, what is he going to do for us now? Like, what is he going to do?
And then he had to have an answer for that. He was selling it. What did he say?
He said,
we going to get him in the game.
We going to get him in the game.
We going to get his juices going.
And that was while Tony Romo was supposed to be your starting quarterback. Jason Garrett was lobbying for Dak Prescott.
Yeah. He was saying, we going to get his juices going. Yep. We going to roll him in slow. And he said this. Most quarterbacks come in as a one-read quarterback.
Remember, he said, they're like, Elway. He said Elway was like that. He said Elway was like that. Troy was like that.
We doing West Coast. And this is, I don't want people to think we over here like, we loyal to Jason Garrett. We just giving you the bigger picture of what he dealing with and how firing him is not going to necessarily change what we saying we want to see. Yeah. We just because in West Coast I can't fight him on this. When he pushed back on this, I had to side with truth. Like when I said Chris Richard is a fiery coach and that could help us, and West Coast gave me the facts and history. He said this. Yeah. It did work against Philly. And guess what? Our front office did publicly. Stephen Jones himself, we don't like that in our coach.
Nope.
So the whole style that makes you who you are, you can't even use here.
Yep.
So see, I'm telling y'all, sometimes the catch you on a fire is the people that's perfect. Just being honest. Because see, you have to be a political magician in Dallas, or you have to come in like a Tuna or a Lincoln Riley where you got your own weight. You got your own staff. You got your own people.
And that's what he's going to do. And that just like they did in and look at think about this. When the coach in Arizona came, he wanted his own quarterback.
Thank you. Yeah. And I don't think that would happen with Dak. I think Dak numbers too good. And I think Lincoln Riley smart enough to know if I was able to change walk-ons to number 1 overall draft choice, I see enough quality pedigree in Dak Prescott and his work ethic to make him that way too. I think he would just continue to process similar to what Sean McVay did with Goff.
He can demand more money in a couple years too if he's able to take Dak to another, even to the level that we thought. You know, I mean, I think Dak.
If you can make him the thrower that Baker and Murray became.
Hey, but I'm gonna tell you this though. I actually think that Dak is actually already there. I just think that
Good point.
I think that you need to find someone who's able to utilize him better. And I don't think Kellen Moore, honestly, he's not you're not utilizing the full strengths of your quarterback. Like that's just
and then to another point, experience too, brother.
Yeah.
See, because this is one thing you got with Lincoln Riley and a 1,000 miles on. 1,000.
Yeah.
Big games, big situations, offensive coordinating, big moments.
Yep.
All that's new to Kellen Moore. We're not saying he's not a genius. We're not saying he might be the next coming.
But in a win now mindset, you don't have a brand new offensive coordinator.
Right.
Let's just be
so
real.
it's like
Doug Peterson is not new. He's not new. He's not new.
Lincoln Riley is absolutely the top candidate by far.
Yep.
And
what? Hey, and boss, I'm gonna tell you what. Another reason why I like Lincoln Riley is because he has had quarterbacks change every year. He's only had one of those quarterbacks, I think, 2 years at the most. So think about this. It also lets me know that Lincoln Riley knows how to adapt to changes. Every year he has to adapt and he has to change.
Yeah,
and he knows how to implement those.
Teach.
Yeah, and a good manager knows how to implement changes fast. That's what my regional managers always say that. Changes are always going to happen. The good district managers are the ones who are able to implement those changes fast. Like now, they're implemented, they're working. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, those are the best.
And they used to always say, be the first to implement change. That's what I used to always say. That's the easiest way to get recognized in leadership is to be the first to implement change.
And that's who he is. And it's like you can't look at what the new quarterback he's working with is doing. Because I knew going over there, I said, if he can change him around.
Bruh. And let's just be real, Baker has actually regressed. I don't give a damn what nobody say.
Yes, and Baker has regressed since he's left his tutelage.
Yep, he has regressed.
Yeah.
Like all that was cute last year when they weren't expecting nothing. But see, now Baker, they're expecting something. So when you won
you mechanically are not the same.
Nope.
You're just not the same. And see, and that
so all those people that say that Baker was better than Dak, don't believe it. Don't believe it. Dak Prescott fundamentally is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield.
Oh, yeah. And he has a way better work ethic, and he has way better pause, and he's way better leader. Like, come on, let's stop. Dak with
OBJ and Landry. Come on, bro.
If you gave Dak Landry
and OBJ.
And that tight end they got in the game. Chum, bro, come on, bro. Are you serious? Bro, Dak will light the world on fire with them.
And they're all paid. They're all
paid. And they all G's and Moxie. They need a Dak type dude. They need a dude that can snatch them up and be like, bro, shut up, bro. Like he did Dez against the Browns.
Yeah.
He snatched Dez as a rookie and said, bro, I will throw it to you when you open, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and it's funny too because I knew there was going to be a problem in Cleveland because I'm like the best players are defaulting to Baker just because he's the quarterback. No, you default to the best player. Regardless, the best player is going to be the best player. He's in charge. You know what I'm saying? The guy with the bigger gun is the one in charge. You know what I'm saying?
I guarantee Jordan, Landry, and OB never will be able to punk Dak ever. Because ain't now one of them got the alpha personality of Dez. Now one of them.
Yeah.
And both of them are G's. Both of them my type of guys. I'll go to war with them all day. But nah, you not punking Dak. Like, look, if you gave Dak, OBJ, and bruh. Game over.
And think about this. You built, and think about this.
Losing.
One thing I will say about Cleveland that Cleveland did that the Dallas Cowboys have never did is they 100% built this team for their quarterback. And even with their quarterback being the first overall pick, they went out and got the best wide receiver possible in OBJ, and they already had Jarvis Landry.
Yeah.
They overly wept him. Like, they wanted to guarantee his success.
Yeah, and that's what they generally do with their quarterbacks. Like,
my boy said we have Cooper and Gallup. I know we have Cooper and Gallup who ended up being good. But guess what? When they first got on this team, we didn't know they were going to be good. Like, we didn't know that. Like, Baker got OBJ and Jarvis Landry, both of them.
Considered falling off, man.
Yeah, Cooper led the league in drops in 2017.
Yeah,
I used to say that. People used to get mad. Now you
so you giving up a first rounder. He was good because he went to.
But they called us dumb when we gave up that first round. They called us dumb.
Now when you got OBJ,
the Raiders called us dumb.
You had true killers coming in.
And
it was understood they was killers. The only reason why Cooper is looked at like the man now is because he rocking with Dak.
Because of Dak. That's the only. Put it like this: his career with the Dallas Cowboys, which is only like 16 games, has overshadowed 4 years of playing with the Raiders.
Yeah, and now one of y'all go take Gallup over Landry. Not one of y'all. Shoot, I'm taking Landry all day. With his moxie and leadership and how he play and go against other men. He ain't dropping 4 balls yesterday.
And then they got Njoku, and then on having Njoku, they still said, "Hey, we'll take a look at Rico Gathers. I don't give a damn if he can do something. He might be able to do something here."
Yeah, they was trying to weapon him up, and it's the same thing. I pray that we finally do for Dak, because look, Dak. Stop, y'all. Stop. Dak threw 270 yesterday with Tavon freaking Austin and Cedric Wilson.
Yeah,
Will we stop this mess we be saying?
And Tavon is like 5 foot what?
And Cedric won like a 4.56 or.
And then you asked him to throw on 3rd and 2. We threw on 3rd, and I'm like, oh my God, this play is gonna be so obvious.
Dak is not the one to be questioned now. We need to stop.
He's not. Because the throws on 3rd and 2 are obvious throws, and he's making.
The only thing we should do is continue to build around Dak. That's it. And commit to him like other teams have committed to their quarterbacks. New England right now has said that they're still trying to build around Brady. They are right now very serious about getting A.J. Brown.
Yep, and they
gonna mess around and get him too.
And they still ain't their rookie still ain't even really the boy from Arizona. They still got the rookie that's supposed to be coming back this week, who was a 1st round pick.
Yeah. So that's a real commitment to your quarterback that we have never seen. Yeah. We have never seen that with Dak. We see here's Cobb, here a 3rd round Gallup. Even though Gallup he balling, but it was other receivers that was better than Gallup, and I still say to this day, I would have took Hakeem Butler, DK Metcalf over Tristan Hill right now.
I mean, I'll just stick with Thornhill. He's going to be all pro.
Hey, man, let me get up out of here, man.
I know I got to get up out of here, too. Hey, man. So, man, you already know what it is, man. I appreciate you guys for everything y'all do. Appreciate it. This has actually been the longest show we've ever done. 2 hours and 25 minutes. Boss Cowboy, let them know where they can find you at, man.
Man, go to my page. My article is out right now on a recap of the game. Y'all know I don't pull no punches. I tell it like it is. I don't got no blue checks. I ain't got no bosses that telling me how to write or what to say. I write what I think. Ain't nobody editing my stuff down. If I want it to be 700, it's 700. 1,000, it's 1,000. If it's 300 words, it don't matter. It's what I think, and it's what's out there. And more than likely, you go see a pattern that you've not seen before. That's what I take pride in, is identifying patterns and then finding solutions that can help us get to 6.
Yeah. And, and to be honest with you, man, I know there'd be a lot, we don't believe in saying we said it first, but a lot of this stuff we do be saying it face. You want to know why? Because we believe in common sense is the best currency. Common sense is the best currency. Yeah, some of this stuff just makes freaking common sense, man. But hey, you guys already know what it is. Hey, also, this is game week for West Coast and Boss Cowboy. I will be at the Philadelphia game. So you guys already know I'm going to have a flyer I'm about to drop here in a little bit. I'm going to be hanging out with my buddies Jalen Smith and Antoine Woods again this Saturday at the Omni Hotel from 3 to 4:30. It's gonna be absolutely live. We're gonna have a great time. We have a special show from Stash Man that he's gonna be putting on. We're gonna be burying somebody's season, man. It's just gonna be an absolute great time. If you're looking for tickets, make sure you inbox myself or inbox my boy my boy Boss Cowboy if you're watching on BossCowboy Sports.com. But we just want to appreciate you guys. We just want to thank you guys for allowing us to bring this information to you, man. And you guys already know what it is, man. It's Monday. We're going to try to get back on. We did a 2-hour show today, so I know Boss Cowboy at some point had to put some stuff off, and because I know I had to put some stuff off.
Yeah,
so we gonna try really, really hard. We're gonna try.
See me tomorrow, man.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was looking at that too, like, yo, this might have just cut into tonight's show because I just put 3 things on hold that I needed to put on hold. But one thing I love about Boss Cowboy, man, is I can literally call him on a whim, or he'll call me on a whim. It's like, what's up, bro? We doing a show, and if I'm within reaching distance of my laptop, we'd be like, damn. We doing a show, you know what I'm saying? But you guys already know, make sure you get all your notifications on and everything, get it ripping. Why? Because this weekend I will be back in Texas. We're going to have our regular shows from Texas Live like we always do. Last week we both had family with us, so we both had to kind of family it up a little bit, so we didn't get to do as much. And I think we both kind of slipping because we both thought we was playing the Miami Dolphins. We thought they was going to be trash, so we kind of took it a little lightly. But it happens. We won't do it against Philadelphia Eagles, though. I bet you that. So I will be in Dallas Friday, and we'll have our regular Friday shows from Texas Live. If you're coming to the game, if you want to meet up and you guys want to hang out, have some food and kick it for a minute, we're always up for it, man. So just inbox us and let us know. You guys already know what it is, man. Never look down because the star's up. Peace.
Thank you for watching West Coast. This is Antoine Woods.
Thanks for watching West Coast. Go Cowboys.
This is Ray Williams. Thank you so much for hanging out with us with Dallas Cowboy Scout.
Appreciate
My
you.
man West Coast in this buck.
Thank you for watching West Coast. Shout out West Coast Cowboys. You know it's always love over here. Raider, Cowboy, always a Cowboy.
Did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!